We try to fight against the grain of throwing out what we made. The future's far away, but I will stay, because I feel again, I feel again, oh now I feel again. We're bringing this back to life. We're picking up where we left off and on again. We never quite could forget, 'cause what we got so intense. I feel it again, I feel it again, I feel again. We're bringing this back to life.
Better off as strangers. Believe me when I say, loving me is loving danger. Your heart is bound to break. I walk alone in the night, beneath the pale moon. Loving's for the fools. Baby, beware of my bite. I'm alone, I'm alone, I'm a lone wolf. 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 I'm a creeping through the shadows and the corners of your mind. I go where the wind blows. I run but I don't hide. I hear the call of the wild, whispering the name. No, I can't be tamed. My heart belongs to the night. I'm alone, I'm alone, I'm a lone wolf. 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 I'm a
Alright guys, and Explorer, you suck. because it keeps crashing on me. But regardless. So guys, yeah, basically, welcome to the stream. Obviously, we do this every week, once a week, until further notice, because the news is getting completely insane. But guys, yeah, at the end of the day, obviously, we're going to be talking about Tommy. We're going to be talking about Morgan Freeman and the allegations regarding that. And hopefully between now and then, I can get Explorer back up and running. Now, we also are talking about possibly getting some friends on as well from Discord server to jump in, if they actually want to do that. They said they were going to, and then they bailed, so it might be me, it might be more, we're not quite sure. But obviously, we'll just kick it off. And first comment is Karma saying #free Tommy. Yeah, mate, totally agree with that, actually. Definitely. But let's go through and let's obviously talk about the first thing. So let's talk about Tommy Robinson. And actually, let's change screens to the right one, because like I said, Firefox, you suck. Okay, hang on a sec. Firefox is now that one. That's better. Okay. And yeah, okay. Sorry, computer decided to crash right before we start. It's always a good sign when that happens. It's a good start to the day. Okay, so apart from that, guys, let's talk about Tommy Robinson. So some of you may be fully aware Tommy... Oh, hello. How are you? How are you, buddy? You there? Yep. Yeah, apparently all of you have joined. Hi guys, how are you? So if anybody in chat is slightly confused, we are joined by the director, we are joined by Cantor, and we're joined by Mo. So guys, if you want to introduce yourselves. Director, you want to go first? Yeah. Contrarian. Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay, so now I've got you guys unmuted. Brett starts the stream. But yeah, so obviously director. Sorry, just want to do that again because I had you guys on mute for a sec. So you want to introduce yourself?
I'm the director. There is no need to go any further. That's all you need.
He's our Quintarian for the night. That's for sure. Apart from that, obviously we're also joined... Sorry guys, my computer literally crashed right before I started stream. We're joined by Cantor. How are you, Cantor?
I'm alright, mate. I'm just playing a bit of video games.
Alright, cool. No worries. Now, in case anybody noticed, yes, he does have an accent. You want to tell people roughly whereabouts of the world you're from, or you want to leave that as a secret, or... We can kind of guess from your accent though, can't we?
Where might you be from, laddie?
Yeah, where might you be from, Cantor?
What's up?
Where might you be from, buddy? Whereabouts in the world?
Oh, take a wild guess.
Take a wild guess? Yeah, no worries. And obviously people... Ireland.
Sumatra, fucking...
it's Ireland.
Well, we don't get too specific, but you're definitely from Ireland, so you're gonna be our go-to guy when it comes to the island debate, because I think you might actually have a bit to say about this.
The Irish question.
I've got absolutely nothing to say on it. Paused as fuck, mate. Just a bunch of roasties, mate, want to go out and a bunch of black guys and no take responsibility for their fucking actions.
Alright, well, we'll try and do that story second or third. And Mo, you want to introduce yourself?
Oh, yeah, sure. I'm the resident Scandinavian person here, Denmark.
So we got a Croatian.
Is it really Scandinavian? Is it not?
It is. It is.
According to director.
No, we're not going into this. We are Scandinavian. No, we're not only that, we're the best.
Oh no, they are Scandinavian. They are.
Yes.
They're the worst Scandinavian.
No.
So for anybody in chat that might be slightly confused,
they're basically the original Anglos. So, like, if you want to know where all the problems in the world stem from,
oh shit! Are we really going to get into this again? Didn't we have a debate about this the other day?
I can't remember.
I think it was like a 2-3 hour debate or something about Scandinavia and.
Could have
No,
been.
the Danish are the original Anglo. They're the root
That is
evil.
kind of
Like
true.
the fucking the DQ, mate. The Danish question: are they evil? Are they the cause of all the problems in the world?
Oh, God.
Who knows? Let's find out tonight
not
on.
gonna-
You decide. You decide.
We don't claim all the problems. We do claim the problems in Sweden. That's our shit. We're very proud of what's going on. in
Yes,
Sweden right
yes, they failed. They had multiple wars with Sweden, and they failed to prevent Sweden.
now.
now
No, we talked about this earlier. This is all a part of the plan. They are running from the inside.
It's a long plan, is it? Is this what we're getting
It's a
into?
long time.
Is this like
Yeah.
Sargon's 20-year plan or something we're gonna do? Is it a?
You plan to
Something like
to
that.
lose horribly multiple times. I God damn it.
Lee in chat is saying greetings from MS. No notification today. Found the live stream by accident. Yeah, very interesting because I have my mobile phone with me with a private account, and normally when I go live, I also get a notification. I didn't get a notification either today. So guys, thanks for tuning in. Apparently, YouTube doesn't want to notify anybody that we're live. It might have to do with Tommy Robinson being in the title. It might have to do with me too. Who knows?
Oh,
Yeah, he's definitely in a tank anyway.
Yeah, I was gonna say the. Do you reckon the YouTube might have realised that? Ooh, this isn't heading too well. That that people are slightly upset by Tommy Robinson being arrested.
My
But-
mum's upset about it, so that should tell you.
That's going to be the level for this. Is if your mum gets upset, the rest of us have a right to be upset.
Yeah.
But all right, so
honestly, I think this is a good thing. I think it's a good thing.
well, let's jump into it. So
Of course you would, naturally.
well, let's jump into it. So for anybody that hasn't or isn't fully aware, guys, obviously Tommy Robinson was arrested outside the UK court where he was covering the quote Asian gangs. Yeah, right.
By Asian we mean like Pakis.
Yeah. It's funny how they.
Don't report me to fucking Police Scotland.
Don't report him to the Scotland Yard.
No, it's not Scotland. You're a daft cunt. See, that's the level of
Scotland Yard
intelligence
is
we're
a
dealing
Scottish
with.
police.
No, it's not.
Scotland Yard. Yes, it is. Scotland Yard is a
Oh,
Scottish
you're
police.
such a dumb cunt, man.
Okay, come on,
That's
language,
Scotland.
guys. We're on live.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say, yeah, well, if we hear a knock on your door, we know it's the police department coming to get you.
Yeah.
Just do us a favour and keep the live stream going, so that way we can, clip it out and send it to Menica or something later in the night.
Okay.
But yeah, so he was outside the courtyard. He was arrested. To be honest, okay, so guys in chat and Discord, do you think they were waiting for him to do this? Like, there's a theory going around the internet at the moment that they were waiting for him to live stream something like this so they could quote make an example out of him. Do you reckon they were waiting for him, or do you think they were just taking the opportunity?
Oh, it seems like I mean, I don't know much about Tommy Robinson or whatever, but from the speed of their response, I'd say he definitely has a target on his back.
Oh yeah, we know he's got a target, and within an hour of streaming, the cops had turned up, which, I'm quite impressed unless there was a donut store close by. But the cops had turned up within an hour and had thrown him in the back of a van. So
Yeah, and that was him sentenced within an hour. So
yeah,
make of it what you will. It doesn't. It seems a bit.
That's the scary part.
Scooby, something's a bit fishy here.
yeah.
I mean, isn't he just? I mean, it's not really like a trial. He's just having his old sentence enforced
Yeah,
now.
but it doesn't really make sense, mate. I mean, I've been in. I mean, I'm not going to say I'm a career criminal or nothing. But, mate, they still, even if you do some bail or something like that, then usually they have to take you into the cells. You need to wait to the end of the weekend.
No, look, he had a suspended sentence.
They don't usually do it on a Friday, mate. Like, they need to wait till Monday normally. If you get taken in on a Friday, then they'll wait till Monday. They keep you in cells over, and everybody, you know what I mean? It's like, and then you'll see a lawyer on Monday while
Yeah.
you're sitting waiting at the
He
court
had, from
docks.
what I understand, he had a
Yeah,
suspended
mate,
sentence.
I know what I'm talking about, mate. I've been there a few times myself. mate.
Did you have a suspended sentence?
A suspended sentence. Still same thing. My cousin's had a suspended sentence.
Yeah, and if he did
he
like
still
that, I
had,
don't
he
think
still
he
had to
read
wait till
from-
Monday, mate. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he didn't get sentenced within an hour.
I'm not
So,
sure.
like,
I'm not
like,
sure
yeah.
if they. I'm not sure if they still look. I know they did take him before the court, and they did sentence him within an hour or 2 hours. I think it was actually.
But that's not a sentencing. Hold on.
No, but
If
they
he's
actually
already
tacked
been-
on. From what I've heard, they've actually tacked on extra time than what was left on his suspended sentence.
Well, that is, I think, automatic. It
Hmm.
violate the terms of your suspension.
But yeah,
sentence.
I don't know. I find it really weird that we have this
Mate,
court
it's
case.
super weird, mate.
Yeah.
I'll tell. Like, I've been to court a few times, mate, and it's odd to me. You know?
Like, literally, this is the same case that the government covered up for 30 years. They didn't do anything about it. Tommy was the one that was ringing the alarm bell. And
What was
look,
he reporting?
he was
It's a powder keg. That's exactly why they won't fucking touch it. You know what I
Mm.
mean? That's why they're making all these. It's a powder keg, mate, and they're worried about that.
What was he reporting?
He was reporting on the Muslim, Asian grooming gangs that were going around, and there was a certain number, I think there was like 10 or 12 of them, that had been arrested and been charged with a extreme long amount of offences. Like one of them, I think, was charged with like 52 accounts. Like this is stuff that's like this is going like there was anywhere reports from 700 to over 1,000 girls were affected by this grooming gang alone. Like this is a huge thing, and this is like in case for people don't know the way Tommy stumbled into this back in the day when he first started was he used to run a tanning salon or something, and these grooming gangs used to go into the kebab shop that was next door, and he noticed all these young girls that were underaged going into this kebab shop and all the hinky stuff that was going on with that. So he sort of stumbled across it by accident and sort of tried to raise the alarm, and he spent the better part of 10 years copying it from the police department because of these grooming gangs and trying to raise the alarm about them, and obviously the cops don't want anybody mouthing off about it, so he's copped it from all angles. But what do you guys think about Sargon actually made the suggestion earlier today that Tommy should actually run for office? Do you reckon he'll get the votes? Do you
I don't know much about. I mean, I don't know about the details of what I understand. And correct me if I'm wrong. You would need to be endorsed by either the Tories or the Labour Party, or at least UKIP, if you're gonna have a chance to be elected, or if you're not gonna be like a weirdo who's not have a snowball's chance in hell.
So you mean the Tories might actually have a decent politician that actually have a backbone with them?
What I'm trying to say is people are gonna vote for right-wing people are gonna vote for the Tory candidate or the UKIP candidate. They're not gonna vote for some guy who's been labeled as a Nazi. Unless he has the backing of a major party. That is the sad state of Britain. Britain does not have like a quote-unquote based right-wing party, unlike France, unlike Germany, unlike Italy, unlike Spain, unlike virtually all countries in continental Europe. Britain is one of the most cucked countries in Europe at this point. It's like Sweden and Britain, neck and neck.
Oh, I would say, mate. I would say, like in the last 4 years, it's really. I mean, they've what's the word for it? Put the pedal to the metal, mate.
Yeah.
Basically, the last 4 years, I would say.
See, the thing is, he has to be clean for 5 years. So this latest charge basically rules him out for running for office for the next 5 years. So there's that.
Yeah.
I don't know if the UK has 5 years left in it before the shit hits the fan.
It'll last them 5 years.
It'll last
mate,
5 years, but it's not gonna be pretty in 5 years.
No,
Yeah.
like
It's gonna be a little bit worse.
well, like whites are already a majority in London. Like London is already basically London stand. Like
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
Can you imagine give it?
No, London's like it's a different country, mate. When like
cutting
coming
out.
into Heathrow, mate, and then you can't wait to get out there as quick as possible, get back up to fucking white Scotland, so to speak. You know what I mean? Like, holy fuck, man, just a bunch of fucking niggers. Excuse the language, sir.
Yeah, I was gonna say language. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
The
a very
opinions of me
sensitive
are
person.
not held by the person responsible for this channel, just so you know.
I hereby I disavow Mentor.
We all disavow my opinions, but like I'm gonna speak. But yeah, when you go through London, just even if it's just like a flying visit, like barely there for like an hour or two, it's like you just see the fucking the degradation of the
Oh yeah.
what's
Oh,
going.
yeah.
It's just
Has
a
to
different.
happen
It's a
quickly.
different planet basically. It's a complete different planet.
Yeah, no, look, at the end of the day, I haven't been to London lately. I haven't been there in. Oh,
Oh
yeah.
well, hopefully you don't have to go there. You know.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. You know, I want like. Okay, so I'm doxing myself a little bit here, but you know, I was in Singapore 20 years ago, and I had someone turn around and say to me, "Yeah, I'm an old fart." I had someone turn around and say to me, "You know, would you want to go back? It's about time you went back to Singapore." And I was sort of saying, yeah, you know, I'd like to go to Singapore, I'd like to go to Sweden, and you know, like Prague and Czech Republic and Poland.
Oh
and,
yeah, that's beautiful.
yeah, all these sort of places. You know, Croatia, I can go and hit on director's girlfriend, director's sister. But what else can I say? Bit of a joke that we're running from last night. But, you know, like I was going to say, but at the end of the day, places like London, Paris and all that, you know, they were all in the top 5 for me to go and visit. But at the end of the day, you're just sitting there thinking that there's no way I'd want to visit these places anymore.
So you get all these Japanese people. They go, well, you know, they go to Paris. What's they call it? There's a certain like they get let down by it. You know, and they've heard about it and read about it, and they see all these lovely big gables, I think you call them. These big apartment blocks and all that stuff. And I think that might be in the Netherlands actually. They get gables, and it's and they just go there, and it's just like I don't know how else to describe it, but just like it's like Africa, you know, but it's like the Middle East, and they're just like, what the, you know,
Yeah.
what the fuck is going on here, basically, you know?
Yeah.
Thank God we don't have that.
Sorry. Sorry, what were you going to say, director?
What are you going to say, director?
I was saying that now that thank God we don't have any of that. Yeah. I mean,
Well, it will
Same
come
here.
to you at some point, sir. You know,
no,
it's,
no.
it's a matter of time. It's a matter of time, mate.
It's not a matter of time. It's a
Well, what do you think the European Union's whole? What do you think the mission statement?
Be that as it may, we're not
Yeah,
gonna sit
well,
down.
you think you're immune?
We're
'Cause,
not the
people
British.
here thought they were immune 20 years ago.
Continental Europeans are not the British. The British are.
No, it's not just the British, mate. It's the whole of Western Europe. It's a slow
No.
creep.
I disagree. Why it is a problem in pretty much most of Western Europe. The
No,
migration.
the entirety of Western Europe is completely
Not
a
the
mess.
entirety of Western Europe. I mean, you got countries like Switzerland. You got countries like there are exceptions. Austria,
Switzerland's tiny.
there are countries that aren't in that bad a shape. But I agree with you.
Yeah,
that it's
you're saying
all
Switzerland
Stop
but-
interrupting me.
tiny.
Calm down,
not-
What I'm
guys.
trying to say, what I'm trying to say is, at least we're having a reaction, and the Eurocrats, quote unquote, I hate that kind of play, but the Eurocrats are getting the message. The flow of migrants is down to a significant degree. I would say it's down to a trickle, but it's winding down.
It's wishful thinking, mate.
Yeah, I was going to say, like,
Winding down. They're getting the message.
well, like,
In France, they almost had a Front National president, and the Front National is the second most powerful party, and their
You're saying
president.
almost. They didn't get that close.
Be that as it may, it was a close call. I mean,
If you
close
think you're
call
immune from it and you're
France, it
stuck
was
in this
thinking,
union,
it's not
then
that
God
And
have
the
mercy
French-
on your soul for
and the
being so
French-
fucking blindsided.
Stop talking over me. What I'm trying to say is, they got the message. They're kind of scared. Their president Macron is a lot more woke than a lot of people expected. He knows.
Oh,
how
yeah.
to pander.
He's the base Jupiterian.
But he's still one of them, isn't he? He's still
He
like
is.
yeah.
He is. But you can see my point being that the Eurocrats are getting the message. The same thing the same thing with the whole show that's going on in Germany with their political theater. The Alternative für Deutschland is polling as the second most popular party in Germany, which is unbelievable. Not only that, but they have forced Angela Merkel to compromise herself to a certain degree by going into a coalition with the Social Democrats, and she's a Christian conservative. She's a Christian Democrat. So it's happening. People are getting the message. Then there was the elections in Italy, which was a huge success for the quote unquote populist right.
Not only that, but also like Hungary too. Look at the Hungary elections. That was a landslide.
Yes. Let's not even go to that. I mean, you got Hungary that's completely based.
Poland.
You got
Poland is
that's
based
100%
as
based.
yeah.
We right now are having a referendum, even as we speak. There's outside my door. There's people gathering signatures for a referendum on defining genders as male and female as the sex of the individual in our constitution. We have already defined marriage as a union between one man and one woman in the constitution. So that already happened, and now we're defining gender as well. Constitution. We're going to force a constitutional change through a referendum, which we can do. And these sort of things, continental Europe is not Britain. Continental Europe is, for all its problems, is worse off than Britain. Germany has been accepting a lot of migrants. You have to understand, they're only now catching up to the amount of Muslims and other migrants, non-Europeans that they have in Great Britain. With all this, they've only just caught up with Great Britain. France, of course, is the worst off.
Yeah, well, at the end of the day, I don't know how countries like France or Sweden or anything like that even manage to turn things around. Like you look at like France, I think it was like 1 million migrants a year, and it's been going on for how many years now? Like, not to get crass or anything, but I don't know if there's enough wood to build the catapults to fire them all out of. Like,
it's trebuchets that they would use the trebuchet.
Trebuchet then, yeah. But like I say, at the end of the day, like, how are you going to get all these people out? Even if you have a right-wing party that comes in, like for example Hungary or Poland or whatever, how do you get these? How do you turn around and say to these 3, 4, whatever million people are in the country, well, Toodaloo's, GTFO.
It's not going to be nice.
It's
going to happen. It's going to get ugly. That's the point we're getting to.
Yeah.
The question is who's going to start first? Because as soon as one country is going to push the button and start ejecting people in a rough manner, other people are going to follow suit. It's just a matter of who's first. Who's going to...
No, I don't think that what talking about this is kind of silly. I mean, it's not going to happen. The ejecting of citizens that have of a different religion or that kind of thing, it may happen if things get worse, and it looks like it. I'd say it's likely that it will happen at some point in the future. But speculating as to when it might happen or how it might happen is really shaky.
Oh yeah,
ground.
I agree with that. Yeah, there's no guessing that. But something bad is going to happen. Like really, I heard someone saying we need the equivalent of a 9/11 to happen here, somewhere, somehow. That seems. I don't know if that's going to be enough, but it's. At some point, it's going to get really ugly. That's what we've gone to. We've crossed the threshold of handling this in a civil manner.
We can't. Yeah. We can't get rid of them in a nice way. I mean,
nope,
that's not possible. But although, if we're gonna eject people on the basis of their religion, that is so far in the future. I feel kind of uncomfortable speculating on how that might.
Yeah.
The situation would need to take another paradigm. There have been another paradigm shift.
And look, at the end of the day, obviously, the longer it is that it's left, the more of a problem it's going to become because the more people are in there. Like, even here in Australia, like, you know, like, people are already starting to refer to Melbourne as Melbourne Stan. You know, like, and yeah, like, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar what's going on in Melbourne lately, but down here, we've had people that have literally, you know, we had one house that was trashed by 50 African gang members or 50 African migrants who literally went into a person's house. That this is a rented property that she was renting out to someone. They've gone in because there was a party and they've just started trashing the house. She's been told by the people that are renting the house that this is going on. She's turned up. She's called the cops. The cops literally had to stand outside the property and watch the Africans trash the house because their response was, we can't go in unless we got a warrant. You know, it's, you know, like, yeah.
As long as we pussyfoot around with that kind of shit, it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. These cultures that have been left in, they don't
Certainly.
Yeah, they don't play by the same rules. They're just gonna keep taking inches until we say stop. That's how I see it. It's
Personally, I find it ironic that you got like Sargon talking about how the Continentals are stupid or whatever and gone, and his own country is way worse.
Yeah, well, he literally referred to the UK town as he literally called the UK today. I think it was Cuck Island. Like,
well, finally, he fucking admits it, you know.
Yeah.
No, well, I will say one thing, like, see Sargon, all this shit, like I saw a brief. I only watched. I can't stand to listen to Sargon for. So I just I watched a brief video of him saying, I can't say anything because I've got a family and children to look after. Yada yada yada. I'm like, well, the cunt that you're supposedly in cahoots with is away to jail and you won't talk about it because you're afraid to get the jail.
Well, yeah, but he did touch on that. Okay, so he has done a follow-up video regarding that. I think it was the weekly or the daily live stream. I just want to say for the record, Sargon, you've copied me by doing the live stream with the news, but regardless. But what I was going to say was he went through and he was talking about it in the latest video he uploaded, and he did touch on it. And I can understand him not going through and wanting to get arrested because he does have a family, he does have kids and everything like that, and I can sort of...
That is incredibly gay.
Yeah, I don't know. Look, at the end of the day, like he said in the latest video, and he sort of did make a good point, I thought, was that what's the point in him and Tommy both being locked up? You know?
Well, if he got...
Are you serious?
I dare say it that if Sargon got, then all the fucking Sargonites would... I mean, like, that'd probably have a bigger effect than Tommy Robinson being locked up. Because in the public's eye, and a lot of the public's eye, that Tommy Robinson's still just like a mad scumbag DL fucking street fighter, you know?
What he does not have is the courage of his convictions, which is something that he likes to tout. He does not have the courage of his convictions. Because if he did get arrested, and he likes to pretend he would say that, you know, that wouldn't serve any purpose. Of course it fucking would. It would highlight the problem even more. And on some level, I'm actually glad that Tommy Robinson got arrested.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure on some level he himself is actually happy he got arrested because his arrest will highlight the problem even more so than his stream would have. His arrest and his imprisonment is very useful to waking people up to the problem.
Well, I was going to say,
Sargon's.
yeah, I was going to say, did you guys see the video of the people protesting at Whitehall?
I did not.
No.
did not either.
I'll see if I can actually get the link for you guys just so we can watch it. But I was going to say, yeah, there were thousands of people that turned up for the Free Tommy protest. Hi, Cute, by the way. And I was going to say there was literally thousands of people that turned up, and they were very vocal. They were very, very, how do you say, annoyed, to say it bluntly, because I'm on stream. But yeah, they were, yeah, you know what. Let me, here it is here. This might be the link here, actually. I'll post it in show text. So, and I'll post it on here so the people on the stream can watch it. Oh, it goes for about a minute, so you get the idea.
You might have suggested my circle.
Yeah, I will in future, yeah, definitely.
That is a decent crowd, but
Yeah, there were thousands.
Yeah. I mean,
Like that is huge crowd.
The guy has
how much
great
is
reach
that?
it's all pointless. Pretty much.
I don't know, man. Like
I
you
hope,
get.
I hope it's not. I hope it's not. I hope it's not. But I'm a bit pessimistic. I don't know. I mean, again, the UK political system is screwed up. There's no third party option, you know, like a real third, fourth party option. I mean, so I don't know what he would do. Even after 5 years, after he got sentenced again, if he ever, when he's eligible to run for office, even after those 5 years, if he runs, I don't think he'll win. People will just vote
yeah.
Tory, vote.
Yeah, no, Director's right. His name is not Thomas Robinson Ellington III of Manchester, so he ain't going to be successful doing that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, that's part of it.
Mm.
Part of it.
I don't know.
British are kind of stupid, so
Sagan was
they
saying.
need their...
Sorry. Sorry, I was going to say.
Are,
Sorry, you go.
sorry, go ahead.
All right. What I was going to say was Sagan had a really good point today when he turned around and he said that when he goes out in public with Tommy, it's you get the impression from mainstream media that a lot of people sit there and say that he's a racist and everybody hates him, yada yada yada. But Sagan was saying today that when him and Tommy go out in public, everybody flocks to Tommy. Everybody runs up, shakes his hand, thanks him. It's like he's a frigging superstar. Now, for Sagan to actually... Look, I don't know what you guys think about... Well, I know what you guys think about Sagan, but I think Sagan has a bit of an ego on him. Right? So for him to actually... yeah, I was being nice. The
guy has a tiny ego.
Yeah, he has a tiny ego. Just a wee little one. But I was going to say, for him... But for him to actually admit that he gets that response, he even says in the video, he says that he doesn't get near that response that Tommy gets.
Sargon's not the kind of guy to go out and say, I mean, you know, I was the star here. Wow, this is great. He's not overtly egotistical. It's kind of like he's not stupid. But I would, but you know, I do. If Sargon did in fact say what you said, he said. I mean,
yeah.
Sargon, you're a pussy. you really are.
He's a faggot, mate. He's a massive faggot.
Come on, language. I would like to have a channel.
Sorry, as I said, the views expressed by myself are not.
Yeah, I know, but I might still get my channel flagged into oblivion for it.
Does not have the courage of his convictions.
Don't shit on Sargon. He never wanted this. Leadership was thrust upon him.
He never asked for this. Yeah, I know. But what I'm trying to say is, why people like Tommy more than Sargon is because Sargon doesn't have the courage of his convictions, and Tommy does.
Yeah.
Tommy's out there. He's risking this, and he
Tommy
knows that
sells
even if he
Tommy.
gets arrested, it's for his convictions. It's in the furtherance of his heartfelt beliefs. So I can see, that's why that's the difference, Sargon, between a fat cuck on the internet and an actual guy. That's why you could never run for political, whereas he could. That's the difference.
I believe that's what he actually. That's what he sort of alludes to in the video too. That
both of them have a lot of like, both of them would be labeled Nazi by the media, pretty much. Extreme right wingers or something like that. But Tommy can engender the kind of respect that he actually might get elected. What I'm trying to say. Opposed to Sargon, who just, okay, let's get this YouTuber elected. Yeah, whatever.
I was going to say, Unfiltered Opinions, which I have a theory on who it might be, has said, tell the base Croatian to go get arrested for free speech or stabbed by Muslim migrants as a martyr.
No, why would I?
I have
Why would I?
I have a suspicion I know who that Unfiltered Opinions might be.
Oh, I don't care. But either way, why would I? We don't have that problem here, and we'll never let it manifest here. So
But
if
don't
that
you want to
were
stay
to
for
happen,
you?
if that were to happen, then we would. Sure, but I'm not an idiot who advocates stupid like protests, like going out and get myself stabbed. I mean, no, that's not helpful. I didn't say Sargon should go out and get himself stabbed.
No.
I said Sargon should go out and say what he thinks, as opposed to being a pussy who censors himself.
Yeah.
That is all. And I would, and if I were in his position, I would definitely not censor myself.
Going out and saying what you think these days is risky business, mate. Especially here.
Yeah, look, I was going to admit, look, at the end of the day, I must admit, look, I think everybody likes to sit there and say, yeah, we'd stick up for our principles and everything like that. But I must admit, when I was posting those stories earlier in, like, the past couple of days, I had to sit there and think, oh, shit, am I going to get locked up for posting these videos? I still fucking posted them. I swore on stream.
You like my mate that way, man. He's paranoid posting stuff on Facebook, mate. He's a bit of a fucking super normie, mate, but he's like, will I get in trouble for posting that? I'm like, probably not, man. It's just like pure milquetoast stuff,
Well, I was going to say, look, the argument I could always make was, I've got 1,400 subs, I don't think I'm a substantial threat. But I was going to say, but at the end of the day, I must admit, I did look up the laws to see if the UK does affect Australia, which I still don't have an understanding on. I still can't seem to find a yes or no answer on that, and I'm going to have to talk to a lawyer about that for obviously future stories. But I was going to say, there is a case where, you're sitting there thinking, well, shit, that, I don't know. But obviously, look, the best thing about this whole thing is it has red-pilled a lot of people. There is a petition going around at the moment for Free Tommy Robinson that has over 2,000. Over.
That'll do fuck all, mate.
I know.
Internet stuff.
It's internet. I know. But I was going to say, but it has had 233,000 signatures.
If he had any balls, it'll be also Free Carl and Tommy. That would be. I mean, god damn it.
I don't know. It's actually to me anyway. It's kind of sad. Tommy Rob, pure fucking Israeli shell. I mean, it's just like, as I said before, like my views don't reflect the views of the host, so on his channel. But like, as far as I'm concerned, mate, it's just a sad state of affairs when you got Sargon of Akkad, who's just a fucking a benefit scrounge who's sat in a dole all his life, pontificating on YouTube about the individual, and you've got fucking Count Dankula, who's probably the most famous man in Scotland, when for reasons that escape me, I mean, well, they don't, but like, I mean, it's a sad, British politics is a sad state of affairs, mate. The Conservative Party and you got this Amber Rudd, fucking wench,
Yeah.
that's in power, and she's just taking everybody to task, mate. You know, it's just the whole country's in a mess, mate.
Well, that's
It's
what,
happened in such a small space of time, man.
well, that's what I was going to say. Look, at the end of the day, and this is one thing that I am annoyed about, is the fact that where is Count Dankula on this? Has like
That's a good point.
where
Oh, you know, man.
like everybody
Isn't he
jumped
just
to
a
his
comedian? I mean,
well, everybody jumped to his defense for freedom of speech. Even Tommy came out and defended him. And then when it came turn to return the favor, Count Dankula is off what? You know, what, playing with sheep or whatever he's friggin' doing. Like, you know, like, where the hell are you, dude? What are you doing? You're supposed to be a free speech advocate or a free speech, you know, activist.
100 grand.
So,
As director said, mate, they don't have belief in their convictions because they've not got a
he's
strong
never
belief
been a-
system. It's just it's the individual guy.
mm,
The individual solve everything. Like, oh, well, you know, it's just like, what? I mean, what does that even mean? You know, what does that even mean, really? What? So like,
I'm looking at his Twitter feed. He's talking about Elon Musk or something.
so has he even mentioned on Twitter about this at all? Or?
I'm okay. Maybe he has. I'm scrolling down. I'm not sure. Oh yes, he did.
Like, oh wow, he
Yeah,
made a
yeah,
Twitter
but he was-
post.
He was not a free speech warrior on his own. People
No.
people made him out to be that.
He
because
has
was
retweeted. He
the
has
case he
retweeted. So
was.
you know, he has said something.
he's a fanny for Ayrshire that doesn't fucking know what he's talking about, and he's just like Reddit incarnate. So I mean, like, looking to him for some sort
No,
of
I wouldn't jump to condemn the guy.
or some sort of solution is just
I mean,
it's
there's
just,
no reason. There's literally.
yeah. There's no reason to look to someone like that. For
I
a
think
solution.
he has said something.
The guy's got 100k subscribers. You know what I mean? If Sargon had a fucking backbone instead of being a fat,
Yeah, you know what?
yeah, and you know what I mean. If he had some sort of backbone, he'd have said something. I mean, if he's that scared on his fucking YouTube channel, then, you know what I mean, then where are you going with yourself? You know?
See, maybe he'll say something. You don't.
No,
Well,
he's
it's-
already kind of said it. He's not.
weird. It's really weird to.
Yeah.
condemn it.
I don't know.
That's 'cause
It's
they've got
been
they've got no
That's about
spine, mate. These people have no spines, mate, and that's why they ultimately. I mean, they're just liberals, mate, but they're just not as far along as the others.
But you know,
Well,
this
yeah.
is the thing. Like,
but-
how many of these people jump? Like, for example, look, I don't know Richard Spencer from a bar of soap, right? But when the altright.com was taken down, how many of them stuck up for Richard Spencer? These are people
None of
that,
them.
yeah, like I'm a centrist. The centrist Aussie stuck up more for altright.com than with like 600 subs at the time or whatever it was, stuck up more for the alt-right party, which I have huge debates about, some people in here in particular, but I was going to say, like, I stuck up more for altright.com than these people that have got 700,000 subs. Like, where the hell are you? What are you doing?
Well, they have a business to worry about. The reason why they're doing it is because they like the money, they like the shekels more than they like the message.
Yeah, that's what you say. It's lack of principle.
I mean, I Sargon put his loyalties lie to fucking shekels, mate.
They rationalize it to themselves. That is by convincing themselves or convincing others, whatever, and the other. They
That's
are
completely correct.
doing this for the benefit of the country. So it's better if I don't get arrested. Sure.
Yeah, but,
What Dankula would have said to himself would be, I have an appeal coming up. It's more important that I win that, not to set precedent, than to speak out about this.
Guys,
that is a fact too. I'm willing to get that.
Guys, you want the rundown of the stream? Shit's fuck, brah.
What was that, man? Sorry.
Amen.
Sorry, you're cutting in and out a bit on that one, was it?
It's fucking.
He was giving a rundown of the entire stream so far.
Yeah. Everything's going to hell. We're all going to die. And we're all going to get locked up in prison camps because, we have unpopular opinions, apparently.
We're gonna get thrown in gulags, mate.
Yeah. Well, at least we'll have cellmates that, if we can start our own white gang, But what I was going to say was, yeah, I don't know. Look, obviously, look, yeah, if that's the case with Count Dankula, then I stand corrected. Fine, I can sort of maybe understand that a little bit, but like I don't know, guys. Like Alex Jones has done more to support Tommy Robinson than any of these guys. Like
Alex Jones has a lot more power and
Well,
Yeah.
it's not even that, mate. It's like over in America, it's like
he's got First Amendment. Yeah.
yeah, that's a powerful tool to have in your fucking hands, mate. It really is.
I love to see Joe Rogan talking about this.
Well,
there's no way. No way.
Well, actually, here's an interesting thing. Steven Crowder was talking about it. So that in itself is pretty impressive.
I'm not a fan of Stephen Crowder, to be honest.
Look, at the end of the day, whether you're a fan or not,
He reaches a lot of people.
He's got a big reach, and he's talking about Tommy Robinson. And I was also going to say, and also here's a bit of a follow-up to this actual story, was Australian Senator and the Dutch MPs are calling on the UK to release Tommy Robinson from jail.
What country?
Australian Senator, which is Pauline Hanson, which you guys I've heard mentioned a few times, and a Dutch.
I've never heard of.
Okay, and a Dutch MP. So yeah, it was Pauline Hanson from Australia has tweeted out #Tommy Robinson has been arrested in the UK for breaching the peace while reporting on Islamic grooming gangs. This is what happens when society doesn't foster a culture of open debate and honesty. This is a stark warning for Australia not to continue down the same path. Pauline Hanson and Gret Wilders, I might be mispronouncing that name, tweeted out arresting for breaching the peace while reporting on Islamic grooming gang trial. Is this Saudi Arabia? Has the United Kingdom become a police state? Jail equals death sentence for Tommy Robinson. Come to your senses, United Kingdom. #Tommy Robinson.
Breach of the peace is so fucking vague as well. I've had a breach of the peace before. I've had it twice, and it's so vague. It's just like you're causing disturbance, basically. It's like so you might have a raised voice in the street. They can do you for a breach of the peace. So it's just like it's the same way the hate speech laws work or whatever, however it is. It's just like the interpretation of like, oh well, you might have a raised voice in a public place or something, or it could be in your house. It can be whatever. It's just whatever they decide at the time,
Yeah, but that's what I was watching a video and someone said that this whole breach of the peace or whatever they charge.
It's nonsense, mate. I got £160 fine for it, and then I got an £80 fine for one when I was younger, and that was just for playing music too loud in my house, So it was
wow.
Yeah. No, well, I was having a party, you know what I mean, and it was going on for about 2 days, and then neighbours phoned the police.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Well, in Australia at the moment, they're trying to bring in laws where if you leave your garbage bins, I think it's up in Queensland actually. If you leave your garbage bins out too long, they actually fine you for leaving your garbage bins out. Like,
well, at least they don't lock you up in a cell and then take you to court for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well. Yeah. But like this is 1984 shit. Like this is the Orwellian. This is everything that V for Vendetta, the movie, tried to tell us was going to happen, except they were talking about...
Yeah, but it's coated in blue-haired, like, fucking degeneracy parade.
I'd say it's completely expected.
Yeah.
I think Tommy Robinson is getting too popular. Smack him down a bit. But what I'm more concerned about is the breach of the quote-unquote Catholicism shield in Scotland, in Ireland.
Yeah,
that's the same thing,
Let's talk about that.
The thing is,
sorry. Yeah, I was going to say. So Ireland. Sorry, I was going to say just for the people listening on YouTube, Ireland votes by landslide to legalise abortion. So some of the figures have come through. Ireland has voted by landslide to legalise abortion. Keep in mind this is obviously a Guardian article, so it's going to be left wing. Abortion in stunning outcome that marks the dramatic defeat of the Catholic Church's one-time diminution of republic. The Irish elected voted by 1.4 million votes to 700,000 votes in favour of abolishing a controversial constitution amendment that gave equal legal status to the lives of a fetus and the woman carrying it. So the result was a 2/3 majority. 66.4 said yes to 33.6 saying no.
Well, you see, the countries that we talked about that we said that are based, like quote unquote, I know that word is cringy now, but the countries we talked about earlier, countries like Hungary, countries like Poland, Slovakia, maybe Austria. Those are all Catholic countries where the Catholic Church is exerting its influence to prevent to a certain extent, the let's say the degeneracy that's being spread from the Bay Area. I mean, I think it's the epicenter. But they had an effect. They had a positive effect. I mean, Poland is basically just a bunch of drunken peasants, but they have the church. They have the Catholic Church. They're very, very Christian, very, very Catholic. And I mean, I'm personally not a religious person. I'm an atheist, but I can understand when it's doing a good thing, and it's doing a good thing with the countering of degeneracy in certain countries.
Yeah.
Austria, Hungary, Poland, and now Ireland. Ireland is the first country that kind of buckled. It used to be one of these countries. It used to be 100% based, but now we're seeing a complete reversal. Well, and I'm kind of afraid that might spread. That phenomenon might spread.
Well, that's actually an interesting theory, because someone was saying the other day, I was watching a video that feminism and this progressiveness is actually more of a religion than an ideology. The people, I was watching a video, I can't remember whose video it was now, someone in chat room seen it, let me know. But I was going to say, it was more making the argument that they've gone through and systematically dismantled religion, so that people are more accepting to these feminism sort of ideologies that are more religious based than anything. It's like a replacement of religion. Don't know how true that is.
Here's how they do it. Here's how they do it. And this is why religion is such a poor shield against this sort of thing, because the way they do it is they go to the young people and they tell them. I mean, I know, because this is basically what happened to me, kind of, sort of. They talk to young people and they tell them, look how stupid this is. You don't believe in God. Obviously, true. You're not one of these stupid peasants, yokels, hicks, whatever, who believe in this, and this nonsense, this patent nonsense, and it is patent nonsense. So that's the problem. That's what makes it weak. They latch on to the fact. They use the fact that Christianity is so, and religion is so obviously nonsensical in many of its aspects, and they use that as a wedge to break through to the kids, and then they attach like atheism plus, literally, they attach all sorts of Marxist views to the.
I don't know, mate. That never happened to me. I think I grew up in quite a pure era. I never had any of this nonsense. See if you told me when I was about, I don't know, say about 11, 12, that this is how things would be, I would have been like that.
Yeah, well, at the end of the day, there is a good argument that says that religion provides a decent set of morals, even if you don't believe in the higher power, God per se.
It does.
Yeah, like
very much so.
I shall not kill. I shall not steal. These are like they say.
What a kill.
Yeah, these are things that every man should live by, so to speak. At the end of the day, and there is a
yes,
and there is
again.
Sorry. Well, I was going to say that there is a case where if you go through and you remove religion from society, that certain.
That's what I've always said that as well, man. I think religion is it's a family binder in a sense, and it's a community binder. Like
Be that
when I was
as it
younger,
may.
when I was
That
younger,
is-
you used
that
to
is-
go, you used to go to chapel like on Sunday, and I'm not, I mean, I grew up in the '90s, but still used to go to chapel, you know. And yeah, you still met people. I mean, like they're your neighbors and stuff, but you knew them, but you didn't like, you know, because you got to see them every week. You know, it was like kind of there was a bit of a like oh cool. I know it wasn't just like oh this closed doors Blade Runner fucking universe that we live in now. You know.
Yeah.
Where everybody's just locked off in their own cubicle. They go home, they go to work, they go home. Nobody speaks to their neighbors, nothing like that. It was like, oh, you know, it's
What I'm trying to say is, yes, while that's
Yeah.
all true,
yeah,
religion has a massive weakness in that it
True.
that it is so obviously untrue, and it's used. The fact that it's untrue is used as a wedge to push Marxist views onto people. So
You're
they
saying-
attach Marxist view to atheism,
Yeah.
and they use atheism as, which is kind of obviously true. They use that as the wedge to push in all sorts of Marxist nonsense.
yeah,
and
yeah. Of course.
the kids kind of get woke, and then they start rejecting everything, and then they just sort of lay in their Marxism. That happened to me. I mean, I used to be a stupid, Marxist kind of, socialist kind of guy, and it took me a while to realize that that is all nonsense, and that just because there's no reason to think God exists, or religion, or Catholic believe in the Catholic creed, that just because those things aren't necessarily true, that a lot of their values aren't correct and time tested. So it's like, that's the problem with religion. It's not few people are actually gonna they're gonna latch onto the fact that the new generation does not want to be like a bunch of, like, especially like, for example, I'm thinking of Poland now.
Yeah.
They're gonna latch onto the new generations that don't want to be stupid hicks, that don't want to be like.
Well,
viewed
I
as
think that's a bit
stupid.
demeaning. You call them hicks. What is religious?
I
you
mean,
know?
that's the whole point. That's the whole point. I'm trying to provide the viewpoint. I don't actually think they're hicks. What I'm trying to say is well, kind of. I'm trying to provide.
Kinda, you're kind of saying that exactly. You
I'm
just said
trying
it.
to, but that's not the point. The point is that is how they're going to approach the thing. That they're going to approach the problem by pointing out that you don't want to be like these guys. I mean, they're just stupid. They believe things because they're told.
Yeah, I see where you're going.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
like the
they're-
old, it's like the old redneck in America. Like, oh, you don't want to be
Yeah,
redneck
Yeah.
Bible thumping bastards, you know?
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I see what you mean.
And-
No,
They're gonna
well,
attach-
the way I put it, right, I was a Catholic. I grew up Catholic, but in my teens, I kind of fell away from it. Obviously, I was atheist when I was in my teens, but but then I got to an age where I was like, do you know what? Pascal's wager, fuck it, just go for it, you know?
You're going to hell if you still believe in the Pascal. Whatever.
Yeah, but you see the reason.
Just from some of the conversations that Cantor has said in the chat in the normal Discord, I think we're all pretty much going to go to hell if there is such a thing. So at the end of the day, I think we're going to all.
No. You're only going to go to hell if you're not a Catholic, mate. Because Catholicism is the true religion, mate. Rest of it's
well, as a
heresy, mate.
Catholic, you can just
Especially
ask for forgiveness.
especially Protestants, especially Muslims. And well, Jews are already. Judaism's already consigned its fate, so they stuck the lot in with the devil, as far as I'm concerned.
So, what do you think will happen with the with Ireland? Do you think they're going to slide into progressiveness now, or do you think this is?
Oh well, I mean, I'm looking at the news right now, and hold on, I'll have a look. Ireland.
Like,
I mean, you've
are we expecting like degenerate 12-year-old boys dancing with gay pride things, or I don't know if that already happens over in the...
I mean, if
thing
they're willing to kill babies, then yeah, I don't see it being I don't see it being too far off.
Of course,
you know?
all the other countries.
I have
are
I have
fine.
very little understanding of Ireland is a small country. You can't apply apply general trends to it, but so I have to be a bit more familiar with Irish people, Irish politics. But if I had to guess, I would say that they are, well, that they're probably gonna be part of the backlash pretty soon. I think with this victory that the left has achieved, I think the pendulum might swing in the opposite direction. But then I am inclined to think that. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe not.
Well, we've definitely seen it over in the States, you know, like with Trump being elected and stuff like that. The pendulum has definitely swung back towards the right and towards, you know, they're having like prayer meetings and stuff like that in the White House and stuff now. And there has been sort of a resurgent when it comes to, you know, the Christian right. So it is possible that after a time that Ireland will swing back the same way, but it just makes you wonder how bad things are going to get between now and then. And
yeah, but I really,
I mean, I'm just looking
I personally have no idea.
I mean, I'm just looking at BBC News, man. You just the propaganda. It's so like they think they're being so subtle, mate. It's like they've got there's something about apprenticeships, right? And it's got a woman, like a nice looking bird, right? Who should be at home having babies. You know what I mean? Like cooking your dinner when you come home. And she's wearing a worky hat and a high vis jacket. Man, I'm just like, first T-level colleges announced. I'm like, what, man? Like, it's so obvious. Like it's just. I don't know if anybody else sees that in the news. Hold on. I'll link it.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you want to post the BBC article, we'll bring it up on chat. I'll bring it up on screen.
Hold on, 2 seconds.
I've got a Guardian article in front of me now, and there's 3 what looks like feminists celebrating this right for women quote. But I tell you what, out of the 3 of them, I tell you what, you'd want to be blackout drunk to get with any of them. You really would. Like,
that's why I get blackout drunk half the time, mate. It's so depressed with it all, man. It's so depressing, mate. I'm blackpilled 24/7, man.
I was gonna say one of them in the blue is a little bit cuddly. The one in the middle is that at least I wouldn't say half decent, but you know 1/3 decent, and she's in the orange. And the one on the other side of her is looks like she's about 60 in the shade. Like I'm sitting there thinking, like, if this is what's celebrating, you know, the womanhood of abortions, then, geez, you know, like.
Oh, you looking at the images, the Ireland thing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's just a bunch of roasties, like.
Like there's
being glad that they can shag about, then not travel over to the UK again.
Well, there's one there that looks half decent, which is on the very side. She looks like she's in her 20s and probably a little bit.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. The whole point is it so they don't have to like pay the ferry ticket to go get an abortion in England. You know, so. Well,
that's what we were talking about last night with this. We were saying that at the end of the day, over in Ireland, for example, if you did want an abortion, you just jumped on a ferry and went to the UK and got it done there.
Well, it's just a bunch of roasties looking for convenience to shag about, you know?
Yeah, they can go and get their abortion on their lunch break and then go back to work.
Exactly.
Yeah. But
that's it now. That's the hell world. It's not even clown world anymore. It's hell world we live in. It's some crazy fucking twisted. Honestly, man, it's bizarro world. I mean, I can see. I could understand the argument a few years ago, but maybe you shouldn't sleep around so much. You know, maybe you shouldn't make mistakes. Maybe you should have a bit of agency and like, you know.
I think you're asking a little bit too much there, man. If you want people to start taking agency for their stuff.
Yeah, well.
Don't you know we live in a zero accountability world now, where it doesn't matter what you do, you can always find someone else to blame for your mistakes.
Well, I had more faith in humanity up until recently. Now I'm just like, they're all dumb chimps.
You're black
to be told what to do, and they need to be told what to do, mate. We need a
Are you saying something like the zombie apocalypse or something might break out and might be to
No,
the
I'm saying
world
they
of
need
good?
to be told what to do. I think people need to be do.
Oh, okay. Bit like Ideology, or what's that movie? Idiocy?
Idiocracy.
Idiocracy.
Idiocracy, yeah.
Well, we're gonna end up like that, but
I
except
think
it's
he
gonna be
means more like Nazi Germany.
yeah. That's what I was meaning. Yeah, that's what I
hand.
was getting at.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, but
Call a spade a spade.
yeah. Well, I was going to say you guys can say that apparently. I can't, but anyway. But what I was going to say was, yeah, I don't know. Look, at the end of the day, I don't know. I just worry that Ireland is. Look, when in Australia, we had this whole same-sex marriage thing, right? And people are calling you, by the way, people are calling you black-pilled as something or other. Canton. But yeah, black-pilled. They're calling you black-pilled as fuck. But
He's as black pilled as Ben Shapiro.
oh shit. Moving along.
Ben Shapiro, I'm good.
Okay, I'm going to go here. Does anyone else find it a little weird that Ben Shapiro keeps trying to sell gold as a sponsored ad?
Well,
Ben
not
Shapiro.
really.
I don't really
Oh,
keep up with the guy, man.
Not a bad investment.
Just saying.
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, he just understands world economics, debt levels and stuff, and if a lot of shit crashes, gold doesn't.
You don't think it's a little ironic that, Ben Shapiro's...
Oh,
So-
it's ironic as fuck and it's hilarious, but
But
the
anyway.
shift does the same thing.
But anyway, but yeah, I don't know. Look, in Australia, we had the whole same-sex marriage, and after they went through and they got that passed, they started going on. They've already started going on about trans rights, and shit like that. I don't know.
It took 12 hours afterwards because I used to listen to Question Time in the morning.
Yep.
When I was driving, and literally the day after the referendum got counted, the count went in. That morning at like about 7 in the morning, they were talking about how now we need to instill new rules in our government to ensure the rights of same-sex couples are going to be respected, and they essentially started talking about anti-discrimination laws.
Yeah, it was
Well,
pretty instant.
Oh, it was literally the next day.
Which is weird because everybody said before the vote, this is going to be a slippery slope. This is going to be something that the left used to bring in other shit. And everybody called us all a bunch of conspiracy theorists. You know?
Pretty much. Well, the way they housed it was saying that, it's not, this isn't slippery slope. This is just to make sure that what Australian people voted for will be actually be held in place. Because for some reason we need to force people to make gay cakes and to let transgenders into their places of worship or into their businesses.
Yeah, but then God forbid, you want to wear a mega hat or whatever and go and sit in a bar, and apparently that is against the law. Well, sorry, the bar has the right to kick you out now.
That's offensive. That's hate speech.
Yeah.
Because I have a friend who has a business where essentially they host weddings on their property.
Yep.
And now because of these new laws that are pending, they can essentially get sued for discrimination if they decide not to host a wedding for a gay couple. They're religious and they don't give a shit. They would do it anyway. You pay whatever. But let's say this gay couple, they think, these guys might be a bit rowdy.
This gay couple might get a bit rowdy.
Yeah, maybe they'll have a few bit of drugs at their wedding and stuff. Maybe we'll turn them down because that. Well, that's the big problem with the anti-discrimination laws. Is that now they can turn around and say, you turned us down because we're gay, and now we're going to sue you to fund our wedding.
Yeah, well...
That's the problem with anti-discrimination laws always. It causes discrimination.
Yeah, the fact is that if you're gay, you can make the argument for that for anything. Like you say, it could be a justified reason, and all of a sudden the company's got to sit there and prove that they didn't discriminate against them because of their sex or race or whatever, because of the fact that there's X reason here.
It's why anti-discrimination laws historically always have impacted negatively the people they're trying to protect. If I put laws on things that you can't fire people because of political leanings, because of sexual orientation, because of gender, or because of race, that means all these people are now a protected class, and if I run a business and I'm going to hire you as a full-time worker and I want to get rid of you, all of a sudden you can turn around and sue me and sue the pants off me. So then in that case, if you have two people who have the exact same qualifications, the exact same resume, and one of them is a regular white male and the other one is a female transgender black immigrant who believes in some hoodoo religion, who are you going to hire?
You're going to hire the white
man.
Yeah.
Because there's no risk. You can fire him and he can't turn around and sue you. Whereas you fire the other one and you are fucked.
Yeah. And not just that, but also if you hire the female, even if it's not transgender, even if it's just female, then you know I've had business owners or people that run their own companies turn around and say to me, they're devious about putting women on now because they have to start paying out maternity leave.
Sexual harassment.
Or sexual harassment. Yeah.
Well, maternity leave is another thing, but sexual harassment is one of the big things that's affected women in the workplace. Because essentially it means that you can no longer actually turn around and hire a woman if you're a male and feel safe about it. You have to basically have a layer of separation between you and any female employees, just because the risk is too great.
Yeah. And actually, since we're talking about sexual harassment, we'll get on to Morgan Freeman in a sec regarding that. But I was going to say, yeah, look, at the end of the day, you know, look, I would like this whole nonpartisan thing to be like InfoWars, where I can employ people. But I tell you what, at the end of the day, if I have a choice between hiring a female or hiring a male, you know, you're going to sit there and think, well, shit, is it really worth putting the women on anymore? They're forcing themselves. This is the weird thing. That they sit there and claim they want equality and we want to be in the workforce and yada, yada, yada. But at the end of the day, they're forcing women to be stay-at-home mums because no one's going to want to put them on.
Well, you know, they can always work for women.
Yeah. You know, you can... Well, and look, at the end of the day, I'm not complaining because, you know, obviously I'd like more mums to stay at home and to look after kids and yada, 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 and all that sort of stuff. And I think half the problem we have in society is the fact that we have absentee parents. If we can have one parent at least stay home and look after the kid, it would be obviously a lot good. But yeah, I was just saying that the left just seems to be counterproductive and they want to sit there and whinge and bitch about, oh, you know, we don't have enough women in the workforce, but... You know, we put women in the workforce and all of a sudden we get a Morgan Freeman situation. I don't know if you guys know the situation regarding him or...
Yeah, well, apparently he's been a sex pest or something.
Somehow I knew. How did I know? I don't know.
Oh, I can believe it, mate. I mean, just look at this. Look at the tone of his skin, you know.
Well, I was going to say, here's the thing. Okay, so I'm going to be devil's advocate on this one a little bit. But with Morgan Freeman, apparently the bulk of the claims against him is that he said things slightly out of turn when, you know, they were going through and they were, like, doing an interview or whatever it may be. You know, like, he turned around. Like, I believe one of the examples was that he was on a panel or something, and another guy was talking about some girl being pregnant or whatever or something, and Morgan Freeman turned around and said something along the lines of, oh, I wish I was there at the time.
Oh, yeah.
Now, look, at the end of the day, sorry.
No, sorry
Yeah.
for interrupting.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think at the end of the day, I think that has actually been taken out of context a little bit, because the guy was actually talking about the situation where he was talking to her about something, or they were doing something when she was pregnant or something. And I think when Morgan Freeman said, quote, I wish I was there, because I think what he's saying is that he was going to be, he wishes he was there because he could be more upfront. He would have said what he felt and not beat around the bush, which is what I got from this interview.
I don't know, man. I listened to the clip, man. It just seemed like he's saying, "Wish I would," you know. I didn't really get the fucking quip that he was trying to make, but like I kind of got it. It just seemed a bit pervy, man. But
yeah, it did come across as a little bit as a, you know, a little bit
pervy.
Yeah.
Is being a bit pervy like sexual harassment, really though?
No, it's not really. No, being a bit pervy is not. I wouldn't say sexual harassment.
How are you, Satellite?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, matey.
I've just dragged in Stephen the Lethal Wrench. He's an American. I thought we'd get another perspective in here.
Sure, why
Hey,
not? Hey,
how are
Steve.
y'all?
Yeah.
How are
Hey,
you?
Satellite. I'm good, y'all.
Yeah, good, mate. Good. You want to introduce yourself to the live stream?
Yeah, I'm Stephen Blackman, sometimes known as the Lethal Wrench, in some streams, just as a joke.
Mhm.
I just follow a bunch of simulant channels that probably y'all do too.
Yep.
And I was just now trying to go over the 8-hour stream that the Fallout thing from Failure and Andy and them. So then I just saw the message that you invited me cooked, and so I just now jumped on.
Sweet, nice. At the moment,
I thought you might be
If you want to
topic.
talk about that near the end of your stream, Nonpartisan,
Yep.
I can fill you in a couple of things because I've just been watching something else that's related.
yeah, we can get to that after the Morgan Freeman thing if you guys want. I haven't really been following it, the whole e-drama that's going on at the moment, so we can catch up with that. But regarding Morgan Freeman, look, I don't know. Look, yeah, okay, did he come across as a little bit creepy? Yeah, sure. You know, at the end of the day, is the guy a little bit of a degenerate? Sure. You know, he probably has some, quote, dirty intentions when it comes to some female co-stars. But is this a Harvey Weinstein situation where he's literally flopping it out for women to get roles? Well, probably not. And look, obviously you can make the argument that Harvey Weinstein, I don't know how close you guys want to fly to the sun on this, but you know, whether Harvey Weinstein did anything right or wrong. But you know, at the end of the day, if we're going to start going through and claiming that Morgan Freeman is sexually assaulting people, like it's a pretty loose definition of what the fucking term really means, really.
I don't believe them at all. Because
Me
if
neither.
you just look through hashtag Me Too,
Mm.
it's all just such crap. I don't believe any of these women.
Like I've seen a couple of the clips. Like one of the girls has turned around and posted a example of the clip where you see him actually go through and do it. Like it was on a panel sort of thing. But you know, but like I say, look, I've got a video queued up here. Let me see. What?
Topping your talkers, Morgan.
I'll post a link in this. I will use my circle later, guys. But for now, that's the link there. So if everybody's got that ready, everybody wants to have that ready anyway.
Freeman apologizes after accusations of sexual harassment. In a new report, 8 women make claims against the actor, including suggestive comments and inappropriate touching. Freeman says he wouldn't intentionally offend or knowingly make anyone feel uneasy, and apologizes to, quote, anyone who felt uncomfortable or disrespected. Next, a summertime
Fucking
talker
King of
for
Poles back. What the
Sure
fuck?
is.
So I was going to say.
Full drama again.
So I was going to say, look, judging from that, he's apologized for making the comments and making people, quote, feel uncomfortable. But you know, he's also gone through and claimed that he didn't actually sexually assault anybody. I apologize to anyone who feels uncomfortable amid harassment allegations. Morgan Freeman is responding to the recent accusations of sexual harassment and inappropriate comments, which is where I have the problem, because now we're bailing people up because of inappropriate comments. Like, you can see where this is going, right? Like, this is leading up to the midterms 2018. They're going to start to use this to target Trump.
Oh, no.
My issue.
No, dude. Trump is totally immune.
Oh yeah, he's immune. He's gonna kung. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, they could do it, but
yeah.
nobody's gonna care.
That's what I was going to say.
This one is from 2015. I mean, you can't. When it's that old too, it should be. If it's a legit problem when it happens, they should fucking speak out when it happens. I have no respect for these people that go and wait for someone to break the ice and then a fucking wave of this shit comes out. This shit annoys me to great lengths.
Jason Fry in chat says.
Oh, sure, there is.
Sorry, I was going to say, Jason Fry in chat says, I'm all for Brazilian. I'm all for Brazilian women diversity. I think we can all agree with that one. And Ben Dover says,
Oh.
okay, most of us will. And Ben Dover says, well, what WTF is suggestive comments or inappropriate touching supposed to mean? Touching on the shoulder and saying, would you like to drink? Because I'm buying rounds, for example. What a load of BS. And that's where I have a bit of a problem too. That this is getting such a slippery slope now. That like that, are they really that desperate for a Me Too movement that they're going to go through and start talking about suggestive comments? Like, you know, like I have a girl at work who texts me and calls me babe and hun. You know, what, am I going to claim Me Too on that? You know, like. How far is this going to go?
But they're going to run this out as far as they can, just because that's their MO.
Mm.
I mean, that's just, and so anything that could even possibly revolve or be close to, quote unquote, the whole Me Too bullshit, they're just going to keep jumping on it, and until finally people either just stop watching, or I'm not even sure what it will take for them to get the hint that they, you know, when would they will go too far.
Well, you know, look, Harvey Weinstein, obviously, you can go through and say, look, okay, maybe, like, but then I have a bit of a problem with girls that wait 20 or 30 years before their careers take off and before they then start going on about being sexually assaulted. Like, you know, like...
Well, I'd go a step further. If you decided to suck a dick for a role, then don't suck the dick.
Yeah,
and
well...
just say you don't get the role. Okay, I mean, she didn't rape you.
Remorse, I call it.
Yeah, well, I was trying to pussyfoot around a little bit around the topic, but yeah, you're right. At the end of the day, you know.
Sorry, I'm a bit more direct.
No, that's okay. That's okay. It's not. Yeah, yeah. Channel owner has to be a little bit more subdued, I suppose. But what I was going to say was, but yeah, you're right. At the end of the day, if you go in and you suck the bean, so to speak, and you know, and people turn around and say, well, hey, you know, like, I'll give you a role for this, and you're like, okay, like, is it really sexual assault, or is it you using your feminine wilds to get further ahead in a movie industry? And you know, like,
even if it's not her idea, like if it was his idea,
Mm.
but then she goes with it. Well,
It literally doesn't matter. You know, it's like it's really great.
But you know, there are people out there that have been actually sexually assaulted or raped, and this is where I have a problem with the left so much. Is that, you know, like, you can have women over in Saudi Arabia that are whatever % more likely to be raped, and they won't touch it with a 10-foot pole. But Harvey Weinstein flopping it out and getting it off on an actress that seemed to be, sure, not wanting to do it, but still doing it nonetheless. You know, like, how do you equate those two? And how do you not sit there and go on about the actress, but not go on about the rape that's happening in Saudi Arabia, or the rape that's happening with the soy boys that are on the left? Like, how many of these never Trumpers have recently been flamed in the media for this Me Too movement? Like, I don't know. There's just every person that seems to come out against Trump and that seems to be a progressive on the left seems to be held up in this whole Me Too movement lately. And not on the good side either.
I don't think it ever really happened, but there were some YouTubers who were going to go right into the feminist men thing, finding that the feminist men were actually more rapey than normal men. But don't think any of the YouTubers like Sargon went into it.
Yeah, well, I was going to say there was that male feminist online. I forget his name now. He ended up killing himself, but apparently he was sexually assaulting women or something. Like, yeah, I forget what his name was now.
A bunch of the male feminists were shady. I
Yeah.
remember watching a video, a whole compilation of those fuckers.
And
disgusting.
not only that, but you've also got like, and I don't know, we're flying so close to the sun right now, but over in Sweden there are all these women that are going through that are ironically asking for all these migrants who are working with these refugee boys, quote, which we know is a lot of crap, but regardless. But what they're doing is they're going through and they're sleeping with these migrant refugees.
Oh, yeah, asylum seekers. We have that in Denmark too. But
Yeah.
it's weird though. It's old women.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we have that in Denmark too. That's kind of gross.
Yeah, like these women are treating these kids like they're kids. They're putting them up in their house and then, you know, taking care of them like it's their son. But they're so confused by these kids that sooner or later they start bumping and grinding these refugee kids. Like, and you know, like you said, they're like 40, 50-year-old women who, yeah, they're just. But anyway,
Yeah, working with asylum centers and it's I can't. Ugh.
It's funny how these women always seemingly want to bring these kids into the industry or into the first world. In that, you think there might be a vested interest there?
Well, they know these kids have needs too.
They want to share the privilege around.
I was going to say, is that part of the welcome pack? You know, we're going to give you food, clothes, water, shower, and a good long route, so to speak.
Yeah, it's called a pussy pass.
Welcome to Denmark.
Here's the 60-year-old snatch. Enjoy.
Yeah, just clean
And
the cobwebs.
You know they'll do it. You know they'll take it. I mean,
What-
what the fuck else are they gonna do?
Well, that's it, you know.
Rape some chick at a pool?
Well, they're already doing that, aren't they?
Yeah,
Not in
that's-
Denmark though. That's you don't have that much of an issue with them here. They are rowdy at the asylum centers.
Well, yeah. Well, I don't know what the situation is in Denmark when it comes to refugees, but I know Sweden has a serious problem.
Oh yeah, we are not even close to being as bad as Sweden. We got our shit on lockdown. So, but that said, we still have about 2% Muslims now, and they are breeding like rabbits, like all over. So it's going to be a problem in 2050 if we don't do something about it. But as of right now, it's not a huge issue. It's very, very few places in our country that's actually, negatively affected by it.
So
I would actually probably go a bit further. See, if you have a small tumor, and it's like, it's not a big issue. I mean, it's not pressing on that part of the brain yet. It's all good. But you know it's going to become an issue. You cut it out now. So technically, it's a big issue now.
Yeah, that's why I'm kind of glad that Sweden is the canary in the coal mine right now, because they're going to lose more and more cities. What is it, 3 cities? I know Rinkeby is completely under Muslim control now, more or less. So
yeah,
at some point they're going to freaking buckle, and that's going to be a big old warning sign for the Danish population.
Well,
hopefully, unless people close their eyes to it.
Here's the thing. Okay, so I got friends over in Sweden, and I also have some chick that I matched with on Tinder. I jokingly turned around and I said to her, "Are you matching with Aussies because you're trying to get the F out of Sweden?" And she laughed and said, "Yeah." But what I was going to say was, like, this is a girl who's a feminist. This is a girl that cracked the shits because I called her hun. Right? Like, this is like a third wave feminist. And I talked to her about the situation over in Sweden. And she is fully red-pilled on this migrant situation to the point where she is like, I am voting for the party that wants to boot out people out of Sweden. Like, that's
what they need.
Yeah, like, this is a third-wave feminist who cracks the you-know-what at someone calling her hun, but is totally red-pilled on the migration situation. Like,
Still too late. Soon as fucked.
Yeah, well,
They just don't know it yet.
That's what we were saying before. Like, how do you get them out? Like, are we getting to the point where places like Sweden and whatnot just simply have to start saying, okay, get out. We're putting you on a plane and we're sending you to where we come from.
Trains.
Oh, God.
Yeah, military. They have to step in with the military.
Get them out. You can
But
get them out alive or dead.
But is it going to happen? We know it's not going to.
Obviously, and just fair warning.
Let's keep it serious. I mean, we all know what the ideal situation would be, but.
And obviously, look, at the end of the day, obviously, I'll just say for full disclaimer, we're not advocating, well, I'm not advocating for anyone to kill anybody or anything like that. Of course not. Quite, we can use peaceful means to escort the migrants out. But, you know, like someone says, like, build a cannon maybe. And.
But he's also saying if anyone dies, it could be hell.
I'd like for peaceful exploration of them going back to where they came, maybe. I'll just say that. But look, obviously, look, at the end of the day, but then how does that work? You know, like, are you going to start paying the Africans to go back to Africa, or?
We also have the issues of generations being here.
A government
not all of them
has the ability to use its military or any means necessary to remove a person from a country.
But how based do you think that country has to be before they would start doing that?
Like I said earlier, as soon as one country starts doing it, others are going to follow suit. It's just a matter of time before one country in Europe really steps it up.
I don't think that's how it's gonna go. I don't see.
You're just as likely to have them declare war because you've done that.
Or I don't know, kind of like a miniature. Like if there were lots of riots about it.
Yeah, but I don't think any of these European countries are even close to that. Like, the closest I think would be probably the UK, and I think even them, they're still a good 5 or 10 years away from even this.
No, I don't know. I don't know about that, dude, mate. Like, the fucking hand grenades going off, and fucking all sorts, mate.
Well, we had a hand grenade go off here in Australia.
No, but I mean, like, it's like a fucking every second day occurrence, you know.
We had a hand grenade attack in Australia. I didn't know about that.
Yeah, man. Down in Melbourne, someone decided to drive past someone's house that they owed money to, and because the owners weren't paying their bill, they decided to lob a hand grenade at their front door.
Yes, you do.
Where the fuck did they get a hand grenade?
Apparently the Ukraine. It was a Ukrainian hand grenade.
Wow. Well, that raises more questions.
Well, here's the interesting thing, because no news company would say about the race of the certain individual who was logging the hand grenade, but I found a mugshot of what the guy looked like, and yeah.
Would you like to put that up on stream?
Sure. Let's find a photo of this guy.
That's not riding too close to the sun, is it?
I think we're already flying that close already, but.
Where are you linking that at?
I'm sure.
Yeah, you gonna look at that in super chats or in toe check?
I'll put it in the. There it is here. Okay, so I'll put it in the show checks channel, and I'll put it on the stream for everybody else to see.
In Star Wars, not Star Wars, in Stargate universe, what was it called? The Destiny?
Yeah.
I mean,
oh fuck, that's right, mate. I fucking love Stargate.
Stargate, mate. To charge up. Just think of it. The stream is charging up.
Yeah.
Stargate universe was the last one then.
It was actually funny because the other week you were saying about flying close to the sun. I was actually going to get a screenshot of the Destiny flying close to the sun and put all our avatars on the deck and say, "We're going in, boys." But if you scroll down, you actually see a computer-generated photo of what the person that threw the hand grenade might look like. Yeah.
Yes.
Sort of a tinge to the skin tone.
Yeah. Certainly looks like a certain description of someone might be.
What are you talking about? That is a regular Asian man, according to the UK.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah, well, that I was totally getting his name mixed if it would have been like Yan for a last name or something like that too. But yeah, like, you know, like Chan, Yan. But yeah, totally Asian name. But apparently, if you also go through the article, so the grenade was a M52 manufactured in the former Yugoslavia and is understood to bounce off the house and detonate between the property and the nature strip. So the idiot can't even throw a hand grenade properly. There's that. Moving along before we... certain topic about intelligence.
I've actually held one of those. In fact,
sorry about that. Thanks.
Did they bounce
God,
through?
damn you, Director.
oh,
Can you stop
There-
bringing grenades into our country? I know you're an arms dealer, but God, like, dude, just send them over to freaking Denmark or something.
Yeah, we need them.
It's
Yeah, but try and sell them to Danish and not the
post a
fucking
photo.
Pakistani. So.
They're an ordinary Soviet-style hand grenade.
Did they bounce?
They're made of metal. I mean,
So they would
could
bounce. Yeah.
you know,
Well, it's not,
I suppose they
the
could.
metal that bounces,
A rock
but
technically
it's probably made
bounces.
of wood that bounces.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, look, at the end of the day, look, obviously I don't think anyone here is advocating for throwing grenades. Please don't. But I was going to say, but no.
I'm advocating
Moving along.
I disavow.
If this stream is still up tomorrow, guys, you know, it's a miracle. But what I was going to say was, but at the end of the day, even me with my limited knowledge of throwing a grenade would know that this thing is going to bounce. That if you're going to throw a grenade, you would throw it into a pot plant or something where it probably is going to have a less chance of bouncing. Like, I just think...
throw it over a wall, mate. I think that's it. Throw it in there.
Well, I don't know what he was trying to hit.
Apparently a
Yeah,
front
fine.
door. And apparently he can't do that. I'm just saying that...
Oh, you don't put it. You don't throw it at a front door and then it just bounces back and hits you. You throw it in the door.
He'll throw you.
Throw it in the doorway. Throw it in the doorway.
The forehead, you know.
Yeah, well, that's actually pretty much what happened. He threw the grenade at the door. It bounced off the door.
What?
And
What does he think? Does he think grenades are magic? They're just
Beamed him in the
straight through
melon.
it.
it's
He
a,
probably thought it explodes on contact, on impact. That's the problem.
To be honest, I would rather use a rocket propelled grenade RPG.
well, there's plenty of
Well,
other
he thought-
options. But at the end of the day, the
He
fact is...
probably thought it'll explode when he hits something. That's what idiots and kids think.
Yeah,
Hand
that's
grenades.
Call of Duty mentality.
Well,
No, not even the Call of Duty. Even
No,
in
I
Call
was-
of Duty, you can like bounce it off of something. You know?
yeah, I was going to
It's
say...
like you know it doesn't explode on contact.
Yeah, but in Call of Duty, you can cook the grenade.
True.
Yeah, Call of Duty, that is beyond. That,
But
it's
I don't know. I just
below
find...
Call of Duty.
So I was going to say, I don't know. I just find it hilarious the fact that this idiot almost blew himself up throwing the grenade. Because you actually read the article. Apparently he had to run and duck behind a car to stop himself from getting hurt from the grenade. Like...
Oh, that's great.
You're gonna...
That's gold.
I would have loved to have seen that on video.
Appa-
That would have been great.
Yeah,
I
God damn.
Real.
I have
That-
seen a video of Syrians putting those things into a pipe and you drop it down the pipe, it shoots out.
Mhm.
They're just putting one after the other, and then one of them just exploded in the
Jesus
pipe,
Christ.
and they all died, and like the camera was all fucked up.
See, you're saying like a mortar shell. They put a mortar shell on top of another fucking mortar shell.
Oh my god.
I can only imagine they fucked up in some bad way. Yeah.
Well, I've seen idiots fire the RPGs and fire them in the wrong way and like blow up the building standing behind them, which I can sort of say, Okay, maybe if you're drunk and you say, hey, let's play with an RPG, sure, whatever. But at the end of the day, how do you stick a... No, I'm...
Are you sure that's not just a meme? Like just a...
Oh, I've seen the video of them doing it.
Oh, okay.
ISIS funny videos are really funny to watch because it just shows you how incompetent these guys really, really are. Like,
generally, the reason why people fuck up with the RPG is because the exhaust side of the cannon is actually larger than the head size.
There's so many videos of that.
I've heard they take the safety tip off too early and run and just fall over with the RPG too. That's
yeah.
I'd love to see that.
It's wonderful. It's just wonderful. We had
advanced ISIS military training.
Zolia. We had what's called the Zolia. The idiots couldn't. It's this thing. Here. The goddamn the M80 Zolia. It's one of the funniest things. It looks the same on one side or the other. So you know, a stupid grunt is just as likely to turn it towards the back and fire it out. Then
I think they put a big red arrow on it.
yeah,
but
maybe they need something like that. They just didn't.
Are you saying that people? Well, yeah, I can sort of understand that. I suppose that put a great big arrow on it. Maybe I don't know. It's
Isn't there a site
they were hilarious.
I thought there's a flip-up site. That's what it shows on the link.
Oh yeah. There's a flip-up site, but you know, if you're a dumbass, you won't. You know, in the war, if you're a fucking dumbass and you just been drafted, you won't even know about the flip-up site. You won't know anything. You just have it here. Have a Zolia.
Especially if you're getting shot at, and you've got to act quickly.
And I'm not gonna even do the flip-up site. You know, it's like the same kind of stupidity you see in the ISIS video. There's like ordinary people off the street. These aren't trained soldiers.
So you're advocating that ISIS needs to have training?
Yes, indeed. I mean, they're dead now, pretty much. So
Pretty much,
yeah.
They can do whatever the fuck they want.
Or dispersed.
What is that?
They're trying to come back home to the European countries. We had a warrior from Syria, ISIS warrior, trying to get back to Denmark, but thankfully our politicians are based enough to just call him a traitor and say, "Fuck off, stay out of our country."
I wish Australian and the UK ones were. We tend to. The UK turns around and offers them a free house and health system, and the Australian ones seem to want to let them back in the country, much to the public's dismay.
The Swedes, the Swedes actively hide their past as ISIS warriors, just so they can get jobs easier, mingle with the populace.
I dropped a story recommendation if you wanted to have a look at that.
NBC currently has no plans for more FTTC. What is the FTTC?
Fiber to the curb.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So apparently they're scrapping that plan. That's pretty bad.
No plans to boost level of fiber to the curb using the national broadband network. So they're just going to keep it as the HFC or the hybrid.
No, fiber to the node. So basically, there was going to be a promise that because fiber to the node has generally been a bit of a flop, that they were going to move through and start, converting to fiber to the curb.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, then that just means that the copper line is just between the phone port in your house and the lead in to the curb out the front of your house. Looks like they're not going to move forward with it. So, yeah, they've flip-flopped on that.
Are you saying our government is a bunch of people that flip-flop? I am so shocked.
yeah, I know. I thought it was pertinent though. It's
yeah, definitely
something that it's something that sucks a lot.
Yeah, well, look at the. And this is okay. So, a little funny story. So, without doxing myself too much here, obviously I can apparently get NBN, which is great news, and it'd be great if someone actually let me knew before. But anyway, so I found out recently that I can get NBN, which should be connected hopefully sometime early next week, or actually sometime today, actually, if I get a chance, because it's after midnight. But what I was going to say was, the guys, when they came out to connect it all up to the house and that, I was asking them about it, not letting them know obviously my previous experience with computers or anything like that, and they tried to tell me that the HFC, or fiber to the node, whatever you want to call it, I call it debacle number one, that was no speed issues with people that were getting this connection. Because I said to them, what about the people complaining about the speed? Are you guys going to be doing the upgrade to the system later down the track with this whole, fiber to the house, blah, blah, blah? And he said no. He said that most of the people complaining about speed are people that were on existing cable connections, which satellite and the rest of you guys, well, the Australians especially, would know there's a complete load of crap, because very few people in Australia actually had cable. Cable was a old system that was pretty much only installed for a couple of years before everybody started going back to the ADSL connections.
Yeah, well, most of the people on HFC, like the cable stuff, they were able to get up to 100 megabit. So the NBN didn't really bring much benefit for them other than the upload, because most of them were 100 down 1 meg up or 3 meg up.
But how many of these people... Sorry, I was going to say, how many of these people do you think were complaining about the actual speed of the NBN were actually on cable compared to ADSL?
I would say that the ADSL customers would have been having far more problems. Yeah. I know by experience.
Yeah. Which is...
So, quick question.
Yep.
Because I'm not familiar with Australia, obviously, sure. Is that is this like a state-sponsored or nationalized type thing, or is it an individual company that's private ownership that does it once?
National Broadband Network was a government sponsored thing. I think it was It was going to be $54 billion to make it. I think it's blown out to probably 60 something at this point.
Yeah, well, I know the budget for it definitely has blown out of control. I don't understand exactly why that is. I'll get to that in a sec, I suppose. But I was going to say, yeah, the thing is they tried to cut the budget or the blowout by restricting people to actually get fiber to a node in the street, and then the node will obviously go from the node to the house, which should still run on the old copper line systems. So...
Well, I know of two reasons for the blowout. Because it was going to be just fiber to all the homes, and it was only going to be a small percentage of people going on satellite. But when they went to fiber to the node, it was meant to probably save about $15 billion, and technically that should have happened. But one of the issues was they ran into a lot of problems getting power to the node cabinets. So there were a few cost blowouts as far as engineering the connections from the poles. They had like some plumbing issues where pipes were in the way, driveways in the way, various things like that. That was one of them. The second one was that in certain areas, the lines, because Telstra maintained it not that great, so there were certain mistakes in the network documentation. And so in some instances, they thought that the lines were running one direction, but they find that side of the street, the lines ran the other direction. So then they would have to, stop, go back to the drawing board for that entire area, which is usually about, in lots of about 320 houses at a time. Then there were other problems, like in my area, there are certain instances where the documentation is incorrect. The length of the lines was incorrect, so they switch on an area and then they have, say, 20 houses that can't connect because it goes beyond the maximum distance for the minimum speed guarantee. So then they have to spend an extra shit ton of money either to build a micro node or build another node, and then that puts more ports in an area that's needed and thus wastes money.
Sounds like just bad planning and engineering.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, but in some cases, and to be fair to the NBN, in some cases also poor documentation. That's not the NBN's fault.
Yeah, existing Telstra provider. Look, I spoke to a Telstra rep one day who told me that in a 100-meter strip, he had noticed over 26 different joins in that connection.
Yeah, that's pretty common.
Yeah, so, and like my argument to him was, why didn't you just rip out the copper wire for that 100 meters and replace it with a brand new, and that way you'd only have 2 joins? And his response was, Telstra does not okay us to do that.
There's a reason for that. Okay, so a very long time ago, they came up with this idea that after they laid the copper wires down through the ducts, that this other country did it, so Australia thought, hey, let's do it too, because we had problems with water ingress. So what it was this foam, and they would basically fill the duct full of this particular foam, and it would make it that the phone line would last way longer as well, because it insulated it from air and elements and mice and all sorts. The problem was that the foam reacted with the insulation for the phone wires and actually caused more problems than anything else. However, the thing is that to change the line, because there's 26 joins, if that particular duct has the foam, then they don't just have to replace the one line, they have to replace the whole duct.
Yeah.
Because you can't remove the foam when it's been hardened.
Yeah, I don't know. Look, this NBN thing is obviously a huge disaster. Look, at the end of the day, it's something that we needed. We needed better internet. Like, an average video I upload is anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half just to upload it. And even at this stream at the moment, to give you an idea, the stream upload is only around 514. Which, you know, makes it, oh my god, so interesting when I try and play a video. But what I was going to say was, considering it should be around the 4,500, I'm literally at 500, so there's that. But I was going to say, look, at the end of the day, it is something that we needed. I don't know, I just would have, I don't know. Look, I'll be able to tell you what the fiber to the node speeds are like, literally in like a day or two, hopefully. So there's that, but
we can compare notes.
Yeah,
I'll show you mine as well, and
yeah, I can send you like a speed test.
Dropouts. I have a few ideas. I don't know a few things to help out with dropouts if you happen to.
Yeah,
but if that happens,
change speeds. So
if you do the fiber to node thing, and you're using your current existing wiring, are you going to get a down conversion to a lower speed because it's not fiber to the door?
Well, the fiber to the node basically is then that node will then service the street or the area or whatever. Those, like, they've split it up into groups, like Satellite was saying. So while it's getting fiber to the node is still only going to be providing the speed at that certain speed that the copper can handle, because there's 12 connections on it instead of just the one connection. So
basically, under good conditions, you should get the full 100 down, 40 up to around about 700 to 750 meters.
Yep.
If it goes beyond that, the speed will fall dramatically down to around 20 to 30 megabit at the 1,000 meter mark. At that point, beyond 1,000 meters, it's no better than ADSL 2, and then after that, you're fucked. It doesn't connect.
I gotta say, I don't.
Sorry, man. What was that? You cut out. Sorry.
Sorry, did I cut out?
No. Sorry.
Georgia did.
I gotta say, this is not a particularly riveting topic.
Yeah. Let's jump into.
The same thing.
Yeah. Okay.
I totally zoned out for that.
Differently.
That's fine. So let's go through and let's catch me up on what is happening with this e-drama and Andy Worski and failure. Like,
is this? You go first.
Well, I was going to say, is this a case where I should just basically go out, buy a dumpster, set it on fire, and then throw them both in there? Or how much of a dumpster fire is this going to be?
If it makes you feel any better, Andy has detached himself from the situation.
Well, okay. So my understanding of what happened was, and like I said, I haven't looked into this at all. So Andy Wolski has decided to take a break from Andy Live, where he is going to go back to doing his 3 days a show thing, where he goes once, like 3 days a week. The Kumite has broken up, so to speak. Failure is doing his own thing, and Tonka is driving around in a wheelchair somewhere.
Where he belongs.
To obviously use the meme. I don't know how much of the wheelchair is true or not, but yeah. So apart from that, I don't know anything else really. So what happened and what started all this? Does anyone know?
Well, okay. What I have to add is probably near the end. But
sure.
Short version.
I can
short version, because goddamn.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
the short version. I can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, basically, the Kumite was a thing.
Mm-hmm.
They used to have guests on to do internet blood sports. Over time, it was harder and harder to get guests on, so they started having a bit of a hug box where it was always just Madker and Andy and a couple of guys like Cog. Then basically that they were being trolled. They got trolled to death.
Yep.
And basically then you have Tonka spoken out. Andy is having problems as well because, you know, the JF and Andy split.
Yep.
Which put stress on Andy. And Failure over time was just getting more and more sick of the trolling. And also Tonka, his attitude to just being like, I don't know this guy, who the fuck are you? I don't want to have this guy on, blah, blah, blah. Failure getting the shits with that. So in the end of it, it's all over now. But I just recently found out that this is word of mouth from Tonka and Andy on the COG stream. And the COG stream is called it's one of his latest ones. It's like a white screen. It has letters in the middle. That's the one you're looking for. Now it's 4 hours long. I'm 2 hours in, but basically it looks like Failure and Andy made a deal with Zoom to get the trolling to stop. Now Tonka's like, fuck that. I don't make deals with terrorists and shit.
Yeah.
So Tonka's like, fuck this, I'm not going to be involved anymore because you guys are cucking to Zoom. But the thing is that whatever Zoom was doing, it must have been really, really, really bad. Because it seems, from what Tonka was saying, is that Failure wanted it to stop. And it was really bad, and it was putting a massive toll on Failure. He was really tired, and it's something that Zoom was doing to him that was causing him incredible stress. So that's why they made the deal with the devil.
Okay.
Can I ask a question on that?
Yeah.
What's your source? Not the person. I don't mean the person. What is the? I mean, is it just someone's theory, or like where's the proof that they made a deal, quote unquote?
Well, the source is COG stream. Tonka was saying this.
Is this the stream called Guess? Is this the stream called Guess?
Well, yeah, Guess. The thing, well, Andy isn't saying it's not true.
Well, okay, if I can respond to that, they discussed that on their Fallout stream yesterday or whatever it was, about that whole thing of that they made a deal. Andy and Failure both said on that stream that there was never a deal. The only thing that went deeper is that Failure had talked to Billy the Fridge, who he knew was friendly with or whatever with Zoom, and he asked, "Hey, can you tell Zoom to knock it off and let things just chill?" And but there wasn't an actual like an under the table type deal made. According to them. Now, that's why I'm asking where is there like a DM or is there a proof of some kind or besides just a claim.
Well, yeah, so this is from 4 days ago, and what you're mentioning must be sooner than that. So my information comes from Cogstream and what Tonka said, whereas you're getting information that's newer than that. So Andy and Taylor
Hold on, Cantor, your mic is picking up some eating or
Mm,
something.
mm,
I can't hear very well.
Yeah, I'll cut it. I'll cut it. I'm just eating some.
Well, that's fair enough. I mean,
Thank
if
you. Really
Andy and
grating my
Failure
nerves.
deny it, I'm more inclined to believe Andy and Failure, to be honest.
But okay, so
Well,
playing devil's advocate on this, is it possible that this is all fake drama?
It was supposed to be. It started off being fake drama.
But it got too real.
Well, according to Andy and Failure, that the whole Tonka's going to quit the stream was supposed to be a bit, and then somehow it turned into a real thing. And they also had some infighting behind the scenes. Things where like Failure wouldn't let people come on, especially certain people. He'd be wanting to ban people. He didn't want to do any kind of call-ins, and basically the way Andy and Failure described it is that they're walking on eggshells around Tonka in order not to piss him off and not cause problems and to keep things going. And it just got stressful and worse and things like that. Kind of like what happened with O&A, Opie and Anthony today. According to the stream that I saw and what they said, they also said that they had a stream. The thing that really set things off and why they had their latest stream was that there's a DM sent from Tonka to Failure, and it was shown. They showed it on screen, where Tonka told Failure and Andy to fuck off and die, and that he wouldn't do anything personally to them physically, but he hoped that something would happen to them, and something nasty would happen to them. While that was happening, Vamp Candy
go die in a fire.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. I was just summing it up. Vamp Candy started a stream where she was watching their stream and was kind of talking shit a little bit, but mostly crying and sniffling, but wouldn't come on to talk about it. At the same time, Tonka was DMing them during that stream and still wouldn't come on to talk about anything. So it seemed just to definitely turn into more than just a trash fire. It became like a city block fire. And now whether it's still a bit or not, it's possible, but that's just one of the longest con bits that I've ever seen, and I'd be pissed if it actually would happen. Like, I'd fuck off. That's just too much. That's too much bullshit.
Because I'll tell you now,
I don't think it is a bit.
Well, I was going to say, I know Andy's channel is absolutely taking a bashing over this. Like if I look up his Social Blade now, Andy Walls.
His Social Blade is a city block fire.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's a sea of red right now. It's so let me put that on screen for everybody. Okay, so if we scroll down, holy shit. Okay, so over the past 12 days, whatever, so he's lost an average of 194 subs. The last 30 days, he's lost 5,838 subs.
Yeah, I'd expect that, especially with the springboard from him and JF breaking up.
Yeah, I was going to say.
And then
what's just
like, kind of roll downhill.
Sorry, what is?
But I think he still has potential, and not everyone. A lot of people were telling him in that stream, him and Failure need to do a stream. I think they're kind of reticent to either officially say it or make it like a real thing. Supposedly this weekend they're supposed to both kind of chill out and regroup and shit like that, and then Monday, Andy's going to continue his Monday, Wednesday, Friday with Jay Dyer on his main Andy Worski Live, and Failure is kind of still up in the air about what he's going to do. He's phenomenally known for not being regular, for not being consistent when it's just him. So he may flounder around a bit, but if he's smart, he'll jump in straight into something and do a regular thing. It doesn't even have to be every day, but something regular that people can depend on, and he can survive. Because right now he doesn't have a job. That was his job. That's how he got paid. That's how he made money. So he's jobless.
Yeah. So JF
he's definitely in the bun.
JF's videos. So yeah, I was going to say JF or John Francis Grippy, whatever his name is. He's first
Jean-Francois Grippe.
That one. So over the past whatever, he's gained a daily average of 127 subscribers, and over the last 30 days, he's gained 3,700. And on JF Live, he's gained 3,400 subs, and has gained a daily average of 117. But
yeah, he's still a snake though.
Yeah, but I was going to say, but the monthly views on JF has been going down since around, well, it looks like it's around March. So I'm guessing, is that when they started breaking up, or was it around March, the 1st of March?
Yeah, there's always going to be a few Andy fans who don't like JF and unsubscribe, but...
Yeah, but we're talking about total views for the page. Like, it's dropped off from 108,000 down to 17,000.
Wow.
But
he also had a reset after their breakup, so he had to regroup. So there's going to be a drop off because they separated. So Andy fans that watched him and subscribed to him will leave, and vice versa with Andy and JS fans.
But then I was going to say, but JF's other channel, the JF whatever, not the live stream, but the other one, has gone from 115,000 views to 276. So one channel has dropped off on views, but the other one's drastically picked up, almost doubled. So, but yeah, it's...
Well, really, we just have to wait and see what happens Monday and this next week.
Yeah.
But it got pretty nasty at one point where, when they were kind of that same stream I was talking about, it's called Fallout. It kind of began a shit on Tonka stream where all the people who didn't like Tonka, like Geek Thulu and some others, just came in and was kind of like doing a victory lap of how much they didn't like Tonka in the first place. So it's still burning. The fire's still moldering a bit.
But this is what I've said to Satellite, and I've said to a few people in the past, that at the end of the day, I don't understand how these professional celebrities, whatever you want to call them, can screw something up so much. Like, look, at the end of the day, look, I've been in some pretty heavy debate with some of you guys, like Director and someone who I was talking about with cryptocurrency last night. Hey, Crypto. But I was going to say, but at the end of the day, like, even the next day, we've always been completely fine with each other. Like,
I haven't
pretty much.
I still hate you.
I hate you too.
There's a central problem with their group is that Tonka, at least in my opinion, and I think others might agree, maybe not here, but others in general, is that he's not exactly that good at taking criticism. So when you work with people who can't take criticism, like y'all just said, y'all had disagreements, but in the day you're still fine with each other, he would take it personal. So that means you never could criticize. So therefore, things can never change. You can only just go downhill.
Exactly.
And never refine itself.
See,
Spot on.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's weird. Like you guys, like Beer that comes into the chat. I forget what name he uses name, but the Western the other Aussie. But what I was going to say was, I almost doxed him then. But what I was going to say, like, him and I will go at it for hours, and we'll call each other names under the sun, and then the next day we'll be like, "Hey, bro!" Like I fundamentally disagree with half of you guys here about policies and politics, and we're completely cool with each other. Like,
but that's also mutual respect and temperament.
Yeah.
And if you don't have mutual respect and a decent temperament, it's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, I suppose, but I don't know.
Because some people, so Tonk is kind of the big, the big guy there with that group, and if he's always taking charge and taking the reins and dictating what's going to happen, and everyone else just has to say yes, sir. And you can't ever question it, even though you're supposed to be kind of a triad group. Then that's going to be problems.
Like, just to let chat know, someone in Discord has nicknamed me to Nonpartisan Grandpa. Like, this is the sort of shitposting that goes on this friggin' Discord. By the way, I just noticed that. Thank you very much, by the way, guys. But yeah, I was going to say, like, this is a shitposting that goes on this Discord. Like, last night, if anybody... We should have recorded that, Crypto. We should have recorded that conversation. It was funny, at the least.
Yeah, I gotta say, why don't you say my whole name?
Sorry? Why don't I say your whole name?
This crypto check.
Yeah, was it Crypto Sheckelstein?
No, you don't want to say the Crypto Sheckelstein.
Crypto Sheckelstein. Okay, yeah. I pronounce it sucking things.
Fine.
I really do suck at pronouncing things. But, you know, like I was going to say, look, at the end of the day, like, him and I went at it pretty hard last night. Like, and here we are the next day, like, completely fine with each other. Well, I'm fine with him.
I was there.
Yeah. I don't know if he...
No,
I don't know.
I was there and I was trying to moderate.
Mate, why won't you say my whole name right now?
What? Say my name. Just say my name, bitch.
It's the full name I have on Discord.
Yeah, I just said it.
Name. It's not just Crypto. It's Crypto, what?
Crypto Sheckelstein. Sheckelstein. Yeah. I suck at pronouncing... Yeah, I suck at pronouncing things, so...
Sheckelstein.
Alright, Crypto Sheckelstein. Yeah. Crypto Sheckelstein. There you go.
Sheckelstein.
Sheckelstein. Oh, for God's sake. Alright, stop. Alright, they're trolling again. Ugh. Right, moving along. But yeah.
You think he's cool with you. Maybe he actually secretly hates you and he just hasn't told you yet.
Well, I was going to say...
I just think he's clueless at financial markets.
Oh, here we go. We're going to start this up again, are we?
I have no problem with him. No, we're not. You know, when you're something has a 300% raise over 2 months.
Yeah. Okay, moving along. All right, Crypto Man. But look, I don't know. Obviously, in chat, people are saying, why would you make fake drama? Other people saying that the drama is real. Someone said Tom Jones too. I think that's in regards to something else we've already talked about. And someone else is saying that tinfoil is real. As for them making fake drama, I can make the argument that if it was fake, that a channel that is based on drama has to keep the drama coming. That a certain audience is going to expect the drama. And if you start running out of things...
Here's the reality of the fake drama. Tonka comes from a wrestling world, and he thinks that kayfabe fake drama bullshit is a good idea because in the wrestling world it works because people are there not expecting a real life entertainment anyway.
And people are
on
stupid.
the internet, that shit. Yeah, and people are stupid. On the internet, that shit obviously hasn't worked, and nobody wants to see this bullshit going on behind the scenes and getting aired out in public. There has been also a lot of real shit mixed into it, but regardless if someone's fake at the start, it hasn't gone well. There has been no reason to continue it. If the current stuff they're doing right now is fake, then congratulations. You just made yourself a grave because you were trying to and shot yourself with a real bullet when you were hoping it was fake. I mean, if this is all fake drama for views, it has backfired so spectacularly that the only way to save it would have been a month ago to come out and say, hey guys, we were just fucking around. Sorry, that really didn't go well. We should have respected our audience more.
Yeah. But at this stage, I don't know if it's fake or drama or real drama. I'm actually leaning towards the fact it's real, but yeah.
Yeah, if it was still fake at this point, then you've committed to a bit beyond the point of it's like you're pretending to cut your leg off and you've actually started sawing now.
Yeah, you're sort of like you're getting up towards it, like I'm gonna cut my leg off, and then you actually start cutting through the skin.
Oh. No pun intended. He's Tonka sawing his leg off.
I didn't actually intend that at all. But...
Well, I think they were bleeding views for a while now. They weren't quite bleeding subs, they were bleeding views because of all the kayfabe and fake drama and all that shit I detest anyway.
You're gonna bleed when you start cutting your leg off.
Every time they do a bit where Tonka's gonna leave or whatever, they kept doing that over and over again. And people just get tired of that kind of bullshit. So there's tons I know lots of people that end up making their own channels, and even though they're small, they still get along and kind of grown a bit. And they all used to be big fans, but they got tired of that shit, began their own thing.
Yeah,
I think overall it's good. It grows the base.
I haven't watched a Kumite in months. I really haven't. Andy Wolski, I haven't watched in probably months. JF, I actually even unsubbed from the channel because I thought he was a bit of a snake. Look, at the end of the day, yeah, it's just... I don't know. My problem with JF is the fact that it was Andy and JF's show. But it was... Andy was the chief. And it seemed that JF seemed to have got the shits with Andy trying to run things and wanted to run it himself and then tried to stab Andy in the back. And I don't know if I'm misguided on this or whatnot, but my understanding is that
there's two sides to that story, dude.
Yeah.
So you can say he stuck a trap in the back and how it was Andy's kingdom, but I was on Satellite the other night. Okay, Satellite runs a show with Bomb Islam.
Yep.
Now there are some things where say JF kept on booking things, which fair enough, right? If Satellite wasn't booking shit though, and Bomb started booking things, Satellite wouldn't have a right to complain.
Sure.
When it came to the thing of him kicking off Ralph, well, shit, Satellite, if you go to the toilet and Bomb's there, and I start telling Bomb he's a piece of shit and it's your show, not his, and he's going to shut the fuck up and know his place, and he boots me, are you going to turn around and say, hey, that's not justified? Like, he's, he may be your show first, but he's your damn co-host.
Yeah,
and you go
I can understand that too.
For a reason. Yeah. I mean, it seems like it was just a bit of a lover's spat in the end.
Mm.
Can I give a comment?
Sure.
Of course.
JF proved, to put more of the nail to the head here, JF proved on their goodbye stream, whatever it was, that night, that he was such the snake that he was because he bragged on stream to Tonka how he had used Andy even more so than Tonka got to use Andy. Like, he bragged about how well he used him.
Mm.
And that you can just look
I've never
at
seen
Andy's
that
face.
stream.
You can see Andy's face and be like, what a fucking
I'm
cunt.
aware. I know the stream you're talking about, Stephen. Yeah,
if you could find me a timestamp, then that'd be great to see, because that means that Dev's a complete piece of fucking scummy shit.
Yeah,
But,
I'll need a few minutes to do that.
Also,
no, there's no rush. You can just send it to me after the stream.
While Cantor's in chat, someone in chat is actually asking you, Cantor, do you actually have a YouTube channel? He's all quiet now. Not many Scottish dudes are on the right/correct side, and apparently they want to check out your channel if you got one.
Yeah, bend over. He doesn't have a YouTube channel. He just shit talks on Discord. Feel free to come join us if you want.
Well, look,
Yeah.
I'll
he
get
has a
Nonpartisan
channel
to edit the
called
link.
Count Dankula.
Shit, don't dox him, mate. Fuck.
I was going to say, I'm going to put a link. I want to put a link to the Discord for Satellite's Discord and also Satellite's channel as well in the actual description.
This is not Nonpartisan's Discord.
No.
But this is where he's hosting it off tonight.
Yeah.
So anything you see in this Discord or anything that you hear in this Discord, you cannot blame it on him.
I disavow. Is it sad that we have to do this? Like, I don't. Like, we're probably going to wrap this stream.
Have to do this, dude. You've been doing your fucking stream so PC the entire time. I felt it was necessary to mention.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying in general, like, and we'll probably wrap it up on soon anyway.
I don't think you should, dude. I don't think you should do this. I think you should just stick by your guns, and if they want to ban every motherfucker on YouTube who has any sort of opinion, then guess what? BitChute's going to grow, YouTube's going to die.
Yeah, well...
And the natural state of things should go.
No, I don't think so.
Before we wrap it up,
yeah,
do you want to mention that Bering, like, he got nailed?
Yeah, so just obviously for any...
all this?
Yeah. I watch YouTube a lot. But I was going to say, yeah, so for anybody that hasn't noticed or that didn't know, Bering has been kicked off YouTube. People are saying it's actually due to the synthetic marijuana. What was it called? The
CBD oil.
CBD, that's it. CBD oil that he was advertising. But yeah, I was going to say...
What's that? What is CBD oil?
So it's a natural...
Cannabinoid oil. It's refined cannabinoids in oil form that helps massively for a lot of conditions.
But it's not psychoactive.
No. So it's non-psychoactive.
Yeah, it's not psychoactive. It doesn't get you high at all.
No.
It's just literally medicine.
Yeah, it's completely medicinal marijuana, and it's legal in most places.
Yeah.
Now, at the end of the day, obviously,
there's a double whammy to him though. it wasn't just that he had an ad that was against the terms of service, but apparently because he was a so-called repeat offender, he didn't have to have the 3 strikes. They just killed his channel right on the 1 offense.
What? Okay, okay,
Yeah.
so I haven't even heard about this myself. So what's this all about?
Interesting.
I got that from the COG stream too that I was just watching because they're talking about bearing, and COG was saying that
My bad.
COG was saying something about that Bearing lost his channel just on the one thing because of ban evasion as well. That's YouTube
so he's been
saying
banned
that.
several times before. He's been like, if you get struck and you make a new account and start streaming from there, they are within their rights to just strike you again and give you a temporary ban from YouTube.
So what about,
Which
for
is
example?
actually fair enough, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay. So what about, like, so for example, I have a backup channel called Nonpartisan Live. If I was to get struck on this account for the video, and then I go and start streaming on that's already a pre-existing channel, would that count as a ban evade? Like, how strict are they going to be on this?
You should be fine, technically. It's more of if you got this channel completely taken down or got a temporary ban from YouTube. So you got like a 6-month ban from YouTube, where they specifically forbid you from streaming, then yeah. If you just get 1 strike on here, then I wouldn't worry about it too much. I wouldn't worry about it at all, to be honest.
I think it has to do with when you created the channel too. So if you get the strike here, then create the other channel, then do it. That's a ban evasion. But if you already had the other channel, then it's not.
As well as the type of content you're uploading. So if you get the strike and go there and you start going and saying N-word, 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 then you're probably going to get the hammer brought down. And very
which word is that?
No. Fuck you. Anyway, moving along.
Is it naggers? Is it people who nag?
Yeah, yes, it's people that nag.
Nagger.
Yeah.
It's just my deep Australian accent. That's why you can't. That's why it sounds like playing girls.
It's it's that good old. It's that South Park. Is it South Park meme where he's on there and it's like like.
Apologize.
Okay, but seriously, how many people saw that?
Can't say the word on YouTube without worrying about getting yourself fucked up is sad. It's pathetic, and that's why I'm going to tell you the timestamp is currently 2 minutes and 34 seconds. 32. No, so 2 hours 33 minutes. Niggers.
Okay, so we'll remove that one.
People who annoy you.
Yeah,
Bloody
exactly.
hell, dude.
Anyway, so if there's a little cut in the street, we know why. But I was going to say, yeah, but now you're making more work for me because now I have to go back and find that. But anyway, but yeah, but I was going to say, but at the end of the day, look, as for Bearing, he had, and someone has said this in chat too, he had a lot of enemies. So do you think it was the fact that... Yeah, so do you think it was the fact that someone struck his channel? Do you think someone went through to deliberately find this?
Oh, it would have been manual. Yeah, it would have been manual. But, I mean, it's just, it would have been manual. It's just, his enemies just constantly hate watching, and then they found the opportunity to bring that up.
Because Tim Pool
is always going to use.
Yeah, well, Tim Pool got struck as well. I don't know if you guys know about Tim Pool.
No, but I will tell you that
I've heard of it.
There's a grand list of YouTubers that are no longer on YouTube at this point.
Yeah, they went through. They removed the guys that were the firearms channels. They removed all the drug use channels, or the people that were even educational about drug use. Like I've said to Satellite in the past.
What's strange though?
What's that?
Something that's strange though is that you can search for something called hysterical reading on YouTube, and that content is apparently a-okay.
Is this something I shouldn't be searching for when I'm on live stream?
To be honest with you, no. Hysterical reading. It's a chick sitting there reading a book, or there's also channels like one in South America where they Like they do different things, like try to solve a Rubik's cube. She'll be maybe having it like eating or doing certain things, and under the table, there's something going on.
Oh, okay. I think we're knowing.
They're masturbating while reading a book.
Yeah.
You can go worse than that. You can just go look up body painting and breast augmentation, and there's
yes,
they're full on.
Yeah.
I mean, full on.
That stuff is okay.
Yep. The World Annual Body Painting Fully Spread Eagle.
Yeah, but we know this is the progressive dream, isn't it? The fact that that nothing sexual is forbidden, but but God forbid, you see a gun and all of a sudden you're taking a trickly puff and go ah, but
yeah. So it's political. Everything it's driven political. It's not about the actual content. Degeneracy is promoted.
As long as degeneracy from the left, not from political right, like the kill stream, who was the Ralph Report, his stream, he got taken down for a few days because he showed a very short clip of Sweet Aaron, like beginning her video where she was going to start touching herself, but he didn't actually show any of those things.
Yeah,
like it was getting to that point, and he got hit just for that. For just a few seconds, or maybe more than a few seconds, but didn't actually show anything to it. Still
wow. Okay, because I watched the Ralph Report, and I remember watching the kill stream when he was on that, and he said, "I'm not going to show the whole video because I will get struck for it." And he said, "But and he played like 2 seconds, like, and what he got struck for that."
Yeah.
Well,
I know the video.
It's a second video. He did a couple of them as a second one, I think, that he did on a different night, where she was began to use her fingers to, creep around crevices.
Yeah, start to what? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to play by your safe rules. I'm trying to.
Yeah, we're flying pretty close to the sun again, guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
We just need that Stargate meme, that's all. We just need that, and every time we start flying close, I can hit the buttons, the hotkeys. But yeah, okay, so wow, okay, yeah. Okay, but I'm presuming she uploading that video is completely fine?
Well, it was a Periscope video for
her, okay.
And it was just, he found it, and just again, I think just by showing just a piece of it, not even where she wasn't showing anything. He didn't show her showing anything.
No, I've seen what he showed. It was just her laying on the bed. There was nothing sexual. There was sexual implications.
Still got hit.
Yeah, holy dooly. But okay, but how much of that do you think is them hitting his channel because they don't like what he does?
I think he's probably on a list.
Yeah, he's on a list.
Yeah. Well, that's okay.
I hate him at YouTube. Like, he's an anti-SJW type that has gotten their attention, and it gets banned constantly.
So this is
reality.
So this is the thing that So I was talking to Ghastly and AP. I don't know if you guys know these guys from the from.
Oh yeah, they're great.
Yeah. And I was talking to AP, and I think it was AP, and he turned around and no, actually it was Tonka. Sorry, I was talking to Tonka, and he said that they were worried about me being on their show or having anything to do with the guys from the Gulf streams because they are being targeted right now. And Tonka was saying that every time he looks up the views and that from AP's stream to look up their sort of related channels, mine was always mentioned, and they were worried about the links for my channel, not so much for theirs because they know they're targeted already, but because of that whole you have something to do with Gulf Streaming Gaming and Gulf Stream guys, so we're now going to target you as
collateral
well.
Damage.
Sorry?
Collateral damage, in other words.
Yeah. It's sort of like, well, you travel in the same circles, which, I tend to do, I suppose, depending on whatever. But yeah, they were saying that, yeah, you travel in those same sort of circles, so we're going to hit you too, I suppose. But my argument to that Tonka was, well, dude, if you've seen half the videos I upload, then you're probably thinking that I'm already probably on a blacklist. Like, yeah, like anybody in chat, just have a look at the videos I've uploaded this week. Like, we're flying pretty close to some place. So,
I'm busy watching body painting.
Oh.
and with one hand.
Can you guys stop talking?
But
yeah, no, if this is what it's involved into, it's probably time to cut the stream unless anyone else has got anything interesting to bring it at the end.
Yeah. Does anybody have anything else interesting, or we will wrap it up? Or
Director? Oh, actually, one thing to say: kill that fucking red panda.
Gas now, please.
Gas the panda.
Anyone watching, are any of you at all aroused by the panda?
Okay, so alright, so everybody in chat, let us know who likes the panda. 1, if you like the panda. 2, if you don't like the panda. So if you want me to kill off the panda, press 2.
Panda, 2, gas. 2 to give it the gas.
What's the name of the gas that they use?
Cyclone?
Zyklon.
Yeah.
Zyklon. Yeah.
So I'm guessing the 2 people that have... I'm guessing the 2 people that have already typed 2 are you guys, because I heard people mushing on their keyboards.
If you can smell it, it's Zyklon A, I think.
Yeah. Zyklon B, I think is... Is that it? Nobody else... Jason, he likes the panda. So there, we got 1 for 1.
Go on, Ben. You want to gas the panda, right?
It's a red panda.
Yes, it's a red panda.
Yes, it is a red panda. Yes, guys. Yeah. Producer, do you like the panda, or do you want me to gas the panda? Gas the panda. You've already voted. All right, panda. There we go. It's tied.
You people are monsters.
Someone said it. I thought it's a koala. No, it's not a koala, bro. It's a panda. It's a red panda. Koala could be interesting. What do you guys think? I'll put in a koala.
Yeah.
Actually,
or a kangaroo.
It's a panda? A question mark. Yeah, it's a red panda apparently. But I was actually going to think the other day. I was actually going to make up. I got a week off work coming up soon. I was actually going to make a model that was actually based on the V for Vendetta actor, like the mask and everything like that.
The POC?
I think there's a good question.
You know he's POC.
This is a good question you could ask the chat too.
What's that?
Is the chat do they like the format with multiple people on?
Yeah. So guys, obviously, look, this is the first time we've gone through and done sort of like this debate forum where we have like a group of people all talking about the news and basically exchanging ideas. I just need 20 minutes with the panda. Wow. But okay. Just watch the hairballs there, Jason. But what I was going to say was, do you guys like this format where we have a group of people on talking about the news, or did you like it better when I went through and rattled off the news itself? I like this idea. I like the discussion.
The answer. I noticed I accidentally interrupted crypto. So.
I guess probably this one's going to be more.
I'm just waiting for chat to see what chat says about it, but or if you guys want to hit me up in the comments after this video goes up and I edit out all of the naughty words that Canton was using. Yeah,
was that, bro? Was that? Who's calling about me? Who's calling about me?
I'm talking about you.
Who said my name? Who said my name? Who called?
I called. All right, I'm going to have to go through and edit out all the bad words.
Oh, Jesus Christ, cancer. I have one last question for the people watching. Those who want to keep the panda.
Dude, I quit smoking. What'd you expect?
How many of you are into furries?
Mate, honestly, I couldn't even. Like, all I seen is them throwing shit at you. A car park outside, like wearing diapers, I think, or nappies, we would call them. I mean, I don't really understand these people. I don't get it.
Indeed.
By the way, someone else is saying, Trigger Slap says, keep the panda. Producer says,
yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, Jason and producer say they like the format.
Yeah.
You could even debate Tom's circumstance. I don't know what Tom's circumstance is. Does anyone know what he's talking about there?
No, but he's going to drop the Discord link onto the description.
Yep.
And so whoever it is, tell him to come in sometime.
Yeah. We're going to be...
Directly with Native IRL.
Yeah, we're going to be in Discord after this, guys. So, yeah, feel free to... Actually, I'll post the link. Do you want to post the link to the invitation? Set?
Yeah. I'll make one and then you can copy it to the chat.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you want to make it now, I'll post it now. And
Already done it. Send super chats and voice references.
Okay. He did it for
Do you want to just... Yeah, do you want to just give me a wrench? I'm pretty sure you know who I am now.
I suppose I can trust you.
No.
Is he talking to me or you?
You should just... You could do the wrench no state and just give everyone wrenches.
Yeah, well, I've actually done that in the past, actually. Just going to give it to everybody.
Alright, anyway, I guess this is probably you should cut it since you're kind of getting dead air right now.
Yep. Anyway, guys, look, everybody, thanks for joining in, and everybody, thanks for joining the chat or joining the stream. Obviously, it will be up after this, after I edit out all the words. But apart from that, guys, obviously, look, hopefully my internet will be up next week. I'll have the decent internet. So at the end of the day, I'm not sure if I'll be down or not for a day or two. I'll always let people know on Twitter. Apart from that, guys, do you guys have any things you want to shell out in Discord? So, you want to shell out your...
No, if you're putting the link in the description, it's
just
fine.
check the link. Yep. Any of you...
Can I show my two favourite books?
Anybody else have a YouTube channel or anything?
I'd like to close on that. I think we all agree.
Yes, we all agree. I just like to show my two favourite books. The first is called Siege.
Oh my god. Okay, radio. Okay. Jesus Christ. Alright. This is the type of stuff that we get up to. This is what we get up to in Discord. So if you feel like joining us in Discord and you're not scared of these guys, then obviously do so. But guys, look, apart from that, thanks everybody for joining. Thanks everybody from in Discord who probably got my fake account flags.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me. I had a good time.
No worries, guys. Enjoy.
Alright, nigga.